motherfucking yeah. Awesome. I got, I got air. That's right. Like I said, yeah. Okay. All I wanna do is love you. I need to sing the 12 hours. All I wanna do is love you. All I wanna do is love you. Don't you be having baggage. All I wanna do is love you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The reggae you had wasn't up, up what you thought, motherfuck, what your mother taught. You should hush and hop. Your spirit can't be fucking bought. Tripping up your love, almost made me do a somersault. Like boss, baby, I don't see. Yeah, I'm anointed, dog. You are not listening to the voice of God. Change your area, what's the point of y'all? To be like screws with ducks soon as the coins are fall. Yeah, look like Buffy can fly. Like I take you on a journey through the cycles in the sky. Ain't gotta know it's hard, but most likely you gon' rise. But dealing with your shadows, with you like just going high. You be always looking out, but the price of being inside. Like up in the you motherfuckers don't listen. Why is it more people clicking on the Dolo, the Pilot Man? Y'all ain't about to be watching it on this live stream that long. America just wants to tax us out of box. Father take it off my grandma. This became the best tunes. I was lost in my imagination like it's sex too. All I wanna do is love you. I need to take 12 miles. All I wanna do is love you. All I wanna do is love you. You be having baggage. All I wanna do is love you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Girl, sometimes you be looking proper. Other times you remind me of the cookie monster. Yeah, talk school, I overlook the scholars. If I was on the road, I'd have took the honors. A's and B's, I play a better. Yeah, Alan, bitches father matter. Came before the Adam. Y'all don't know what happened. Except me. Bitch, I'm the one like Jack Lee. I was going up, but it be going down. And I ain't settling, but I'ma hold the crown. Yeah. Instead of layers, then I move around. Then everything I just start looking colder now. I was walking down with no parachute, falling on the love, cause I only had to care for you. You can't only handle, but I think you can't bear the truth. Solo is the common man, right up in the Gary Blue. All I wanna do is love you. All the demons in the 12 house. All I wanna do is love you. All I wanna do is love you. You be having baggage. All I wanna do is love you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Once at a time, check out that Lord amen. But then they get a time, starts at 2 hours before the Lord amen. When they get a time, it's all died. Like outside, they go. The jacket needs to tell. Yeah, all I wanna do is love you. You can have the baggage. All I wanna do is love you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That real stuff. I guess I let this roll on this one for a good 12 minutes. I say on this one, it's friendly, kid friendly. It might not be that kid friendly this time, but you know, a little bit of less, more kid friendly than this one. This screen can get this. Oh, that. The little candlesticks and little candy incense you could use and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Little good toothpicks. Little good toothpicks and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You want to get lost. You want to get lost. You want to get lost. You don't know if it's butter or you can't believe it's butter or if it's peanut butter. You just know you used the fork to go dig it out to put it on your bread. You flunk. You know, you flunk. You need some time and consulements in your life. You need some circumstances and foundations in your life that's a little bit more structured in the mind, so you don't be like lost in La La Land or something like that. The things get tricky.
I'm saying, well, this is StreamYard. Mm, mm, this StreamYard. You know what I'm saying? This is a StreamYard face. There's a lot of illusions. This is a production going on, product. Nothing is real. Let's make a disclaimer. Nothing is real in this video. Everybody need to vote. Everybody need to go to circumstances. Listen to the health department. Make sure you go through and do everything that the government wants you to do, because the government is only for people in our health, and they're trying to keep us safe. Fight the good war. You know what I'm saying? And let's make sure we're for America. And let's make sure we vote for Donald Trump or Joe Biden whenever it's time they want us to vote. Check the other live streams. Oh, yeah, check the other live streams. I'm saying, check the other live streams. You get the rundown. Get the rundown of real knowledge and some synchronicities and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I love America. Oh, shit! Transcript. We gonna give YouTube no excuse. I'm saying we gonna give YouTube no excuse. So we're at 6 minutes in. So yeah, we got to break down real linguistically and things of that nature when we start to talk about Venus and Taurus going through the houses. So that's going to be the area of life that you experience, either knowing how to value or knowing how to self-sabotage. You know, self-sabotaging is a good gift and talent. Y'all know that, right? Self-sabotaging, good gifts and talent. Good gifts and talent. You might be around a person who got good gifts and talents. You just ain't know that self-sabotaging is one of them. You know what I'm saying? You was in the world thinking that a person good gifts and talents is like shooting a basketball shot, hitting that volleyball, you know what I'm saying, making sure she don't break her nails in the middle of it. You might have thought those things like that was good. You know, track and field, home ec class, cooking real good. You might have thought those was gifts and talents. No, things vary in this universe. You need to know self-sabotaging energy is a such thing as a person being real good, gifted, and talented in that area of life. You know what I'm saying? So every now and then you come across a powerful spirit. They got a real good gift and talent, know how to do it real good. Self-sabotage everything. So you know, sometimes you got to be careful. Know how to respect people's gifts and talents. Everybody's special in their own way. Oh, it's real stuff. Oh yeah, we on StreamYard. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know, this is how you correlate the spectrums in the sky, the formulations of the foundations of the world, and the circumstances and stuff like that, man. Whoever on the Dolo the Polyman channel, man, y'all might as well hit that link right now to get on Uriel's channel. I'll take us 12 minutes. I'm cutting this one off. They don't allow me to monetize no more on the Dolo the Parliament. So this Dolo Parliament is all for promotion channels now and music videos and promoting other people and stuff like that, and still going live for all the ratchetness where I don't care anyway. Man, I'll care a little bit about this circumstance and spectrum. I don't know who clicked the link trying to get in. I got to run down the lecture first. It ain't gonna take me but a good 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I got to run down a lecture of all the energies in the houses so y'all actually know what we're talking about. Then on top of that, I want to break down real exquisitely on what it means to correlate the divine masculine and correlate the divine feminine. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, you know, don't know how to correlate these things, so it just leads into gender wars. But when we know how to stay in our lane and play out the energy that we supposed to, for the most part, we actually put our spirit, our soul, in a direction of where our energy needs to be accepted. And therefore, even how we start to participate it, we'll look at it like, oh, that is where my energy belongs. Oh, this is where I feel more comfortable participating my energy. And the only reason we get so confused between those two energies, because what's outside of us is energies that we got to participate with, that's made by the shadow government. And our ability to be in survival mode to obtain these things leads into outcomes of us needing shadow work and us going into gender wars and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So you got to keep that in motherfucking mind. That's just the way the light glaring and shit. I keep forgetting these phones and the light spectrums create different delusions all the way to the point the moonshot is a fake picture on these galaxies. It'll make up an image that they just made up in NASA to be like, oh, yep, humans will think that's the moon. These cats ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Hell motherfucking yeah. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. You know what I'm saying? DJ Flight's in the house. You know what I'm saying? But that's DJ Christ. Big old turntable, circle, dragon eating his tail, sigil system, phallic religion. Y'all do know Egyptian is basically phallic religion, right? You know what I'm saying? Where they identify and deify the sun as the man phallic. You know what I'm saying? Each house that the sun go into is cat polygamous. You know what I'm saying? Cat got 12 bitches. Keep forgetting we on StreamYard. Oh, I'm saying we're like candles. We could teach people about candles and Hebrew Israelite incense deodorant powder sticks that you can light or hang on a wall or get to somebody else. You just know you pay $99.95. That's it. You know, that's it. That's the smoke YouTube scene. I'm saying like my super Israelite incense candle sage. Over there, dude, looking like a whole bunch of piccolos in a Namek race, floating around, bunch of Satan Sarasaki teriyaki chickens. Over there, walking versions of generational curses. Over there. Keep forgetting we can't get too spicy. Can't get too spicy on the Archangel Uriel channel. This channel for the kids. Oh, I said this channel for the children. I'm saying real stuff. Shit. No, we don't lie, because, man, I be seeing everybody else StreamYard, man. They can have a potty mouth. I don't got no strikes on the Uriel channel. Ain't no excuse. We ain't gonna get one either. I said we love the government on this channel. I said we love the government. I said we love America and Trump. I said transcript. I like that green light. I like the green light that be on the next to the world button. I like that. I'm saying we always keep it like that. So anybody who clicked the link, do know like the words that YouTube don't want us to say. You make sure you don't say that on Uriel's channel. We keep it clean. We keep it clean over here. I'm saying I rest my case. I like that green color on next to the world button. I ain't seen that in months. I ain't seen that in years. Only seen yellow ones and always getting threatened, and every other one is red. I've been saying that for years. Man, it's like a new world right now. I see a whole bunch of green ones, little green buttons next to the world logo. I like that. I want to keep it like that. Real shit. Real shit. Real shit. Up to 12 minutes in, but I get dive deep into some astrology, metaphysics, and learn how to deal with the divine masculine, and I said divine feminine, so we can stop dealing with gender wars and have some spiritual ships other than relationships. So Dolo 4 channel, y'all hit that link if you want to join the party on Archangel Uriel channel, where you can actually hit the link and join the panel after I run down a little lecture. So the Dolo 44 channel, everybody that's on there, shout y'all out, but kick ass. You know what I'm saying? All right, now look, check this out. So now, for the most part, here's the thing. Now, when we start to get into energies of learning about where we're at right now as far as these energies in Venus, you need to know what area of life this may be affecting you at and things of that nature. So you might be in a circumstance where you might be unsure, and now you start to want to go for the things that you love, and that could be a person, place, or thing. But your way of going about it is going to be in a specific area of life, right? And that area of life is going to be correlated based upon a tool that we use and we call astrology, as below, and the mathematics that lead us to create those virtues and principles, as above, the astronomy, right? Where we're taking these celestial fears, sun and moon, don't get outside yourself, to be able to correlate it to how we can respond to it, so we don't get washed up under the current of whatever event that when cycles crash together, it create. So when we are inside of that light, that atmosphere with that energy in it, we start to experience that event, and you can either be washed up under it or you could be riding it. But it's how you utilize your water, your chakras, to interact with the as above, so without chakras, water. And as a spirit, you not being none of these things, you're able to swim peacefully or constantly be swimming against currents that goes against your will, 4th, 5th, or 6th dimension, and a 1, 2, and 3rd dimension, just you experiencing blockages, and you not be able to prosper or get from point A to point B in a smoothly fashion the way that you want to. You know what I'm saying? So that's what this is going to be all about. And for the most part, you need to look at Venus as Lucifer. And you need to look at Lucifer not in a religious text, within the context of what these words are pointing to. And back in the day, they was pointing Lucifer to our snakish energy, which is going to be correlated to all the organs, the chakras, the root chakras and things of that nature that created our lower organs. So that just takes you into your lower vibrational energies. And you have masculine versions of these things and feminine versions of these things. This when we get into like planets, chakras, your kundalinis, is the same thing, right? So when you're getting into your lower chakras, right, some of the negative energies that could be thought forms is the daytime of Venus. That will be Venus in Libra. See what I'm saying? Or the nighttime of Mars. That will be Mars in the sexual area, 8th house, Scorpio, and things of that nature. Or some of these planets in the thigh area, the sacral area, sacral chakra area, which is just a name for the area. And the cycle, when it's on the day or the nighttime there, will be Jupiter. But that whole cycle is in our lower chakra area, as when we there as a spirit of space to create those states of awarenesses, to create those organs and those bones and things of that nature. So, you know, Jupiter is how we created from the thighs to the feet. You know what I'm saying? And we would call that the sacral area, right? And then for the most part, that's how you start to understand the esoteric alchemy of it before you get lost into the words and try to argue it like a pseudo, where you could just become an alchemy of yourself and utilize these things on your day-to-day life. So even if the world around you is not changing, you changed. So whatever God got for you won't stop. And it's in you and not on you. And whatever God don't got for other individuals, it's because they're not taking that same transit. So you could be used as a vessel, as an example, to show them how to do better. And once they know better, they do better in this motherfucker. So this is how we point to things, to always make sure we're trying to search for something to see how it help us in our life first, mentally or physically, or it's something that you're into that you might need to get rid of and throw it away and let it go in one chakra and not the other. And anyone else who's trying to put you back in it, let that go in one ear and not the other. So it don't resonate and soak in as a water cloud, a fart cloud that condense as a water cycle and become attached to one of your chakras because you believe that mentality is you. So you made it a part of you. So you start to express it in your own individual way, being lost in your own individual way. So, you know, getting into these energies before I become too long-winded, let's go ahead and break it down so we can start opening the open panel. Now, so and we can start dialoguing also, so we can stop getting into these gender wars. Or, you know, we already kind of defeated that. We just have to get rid of the feminism and the red pill energy that's still lingering around. Because, you know, even from the feminist perspective, you're starting to see a lot of them come around and say, yeah, I need a man, because they're starting to see more and more intelligent individuals that's men on the internet play out the example that they actually have something to look at now to be like, oh, okay, yeah, that do look like something I need because I didn't see it before, whether from my father, whether they had money or not. They didn't have the emotional connection there, or my brothers or my previous boyfriends, if you're a female, they didn't have that emotional connection there for you to be feeling like you're secure around the actual representation of what it means to be divine masculine. And, you know, now that we got intelligent individuals such as myself online now, whether you have me in the flesh or not, you actually know what to look for in your environment now, and you know not to settle for less anymore. You see what I'm saying? So if a motherfucker ain't coming like me, whether you're with me or not in your own life, because we all in different cities and states, at least I'm an example now. God can use me as a vessel. So when you're in your regular life, you actually know what to look for now. So now you could compare and contrast previous motherfuckers you fucked with, future motherfuckers that's possibilities, and know how to decipher on what to look for and know what to totally run from. You see what I'm saying? Thank you so much for the donation, D2F. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Real stuff. Yeah. So, you know, this puts us into a perspective of learning about things, which we're going to get into after I break down this little lecture. Let me make sure we clear on the channel. I'm saying, because, you know, YouTube be acting real funny. All right, how this looking? Oh, okay, we nice and clear. All right, shut up, Dolo. I'm saying real stuff. Oh, there we go. Just had to turn it down for a second. All right, well, oh shit, smash one of the L's. Pimp down. But yeah, so, oh shit, ooh, that felt good. So, you know, that's what we're going to be getting into. So let's break this down so we can understand what we are experiencing before we can know how to value or know that we lean into a self-sabotage scenario when it comes to each area of life. Now, when we start to talk about the first house, let's say you got Taurus in the first house. There's going to be your ability to know how to value or how to not self-sabotage, because you can lead into that energy also when it comes into your personal life and your issues and your personal interests. So that's going to be the area of life that you're going to start to see yourself, where you might start self-sabotaging if you're not getting out of old and outdated thought forms, or where you might start to value a lot more because you wasn't seeing what was actually in front of you, based upon your personal life, personal issues, insecurities, or affairs, or the things that you're personally interested in, which develops and becomes your personal traits or personality, or how you appear to be, even if it's not your wants or needs or your actions or your reactions, sun and moon. Now, for the most part, but a lot of times it's blended in with that energy if you have the sun or moon within your first house. Second house, right? Now, for the most part, if you got Taurus on the second house, this is going to be your ability to value or self-sabotage your value, talent, or your self-esteem. The people, places, and things that you put the eggs in those basket in order for you to observe the if you're going to have self-esteem or not, or someone who make you feel insecure, or a place or thing or creator gift or talent. So that's the second house. How much you're able to stabilize and structure yourself within something that you can look at to help you build your self-esteem. And any person, place, or there, or any person, place, or thing that's there, or any creative gift or talent that you utilize that don't participate in that energy is damaging your second house. You're going to start affecting or flaring up the second house. So you're putting yourself in a situation right now where you have to learn how to value these things. There may be certain people, places, and things in your second house that actually add as an attribute when it comes into your creative gifts, your talents, and they probably help you build your self-esteem, or that place or that thing, and you haven't been utilizing it, aka valuing it, probably been taking advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? Taking advantage of that person, place, or thing, you know what I'm saying? Taking it for granted, and you have to get over your weird ego and become like an esoteric vampire or parasite in order to make the relationship back even and balance again, for you to start to manifest again. And that might be the shadow work you might have to do if you're on that sabotaging scenario of it. But this is the area that you're going to be looking at due to the fact that Venus get ready to transit your second house, and you're probably already going to be seeing experiences to get you prepared. So, you know, this is one of the live streams that got manifested on Earth right now to get you prepared also. So it's all working out as a synchronicity and a correspondence. Now, also, and I appreciate it if y'all hit that flight button too. Now, when we start talking about third house, this is going to be your friends or surroundings when you start to filter it through the energy of Venus being in your Taurus third house, aka your ability to know how to value or to not sabotage that. So there's going to be a lot of things that you may love, appreciate, and willing to compromise with when it comes to your environment, your friends' ideas, and your ability to communicate, to blend those things together. And a lot of these things may be due to the fact of being non-practical, non-rational, just for the sake of being lazy or wanting to be secure. And you might be getting manipulated based upon a friend, what they want to do. And they may say certain words to make you feel secure with that Taurus energy, to make you feel like you're doing the right thing. And then once the Venus phase, you start to realize that you're washed up under the current and you have to play catch up based on not even just the moon, but Venus energy too. So you have to be careful, because that creates years of detriment when you have to play catch up with planets like Venus and Mars and Saturn and Jupiter. You know what I'm saying? Those are years of catch up. And if you don't know how to start now, you'll just be digging bigger holes, thinking that you're justifying yourself to be right by being too smart for your own good, thinking that outcomes is going to play out in the way that it played out previously, that led you into damaged and guilty energies. But so you have to be careful. Don't put yourself in a hell and self-identify with these things. Your spirit deserves better, but you have to actually put faith and belief in that imagination without attaching too much of these old invalidations that you had to make you feel like that you're not great. Now, so when we start talking about the third house, be careful in your surroundings and make sure you're doing things more practical. And, you know, love will make you, with Venus ruling your third house and you having Taurus there, right? You know, it'll put you into a weird circumstance where you think whatever that you're doing is practical, and it may not be practical. So when you look at the situation before the outcome, so you can see a mistake from a mile away, you need to know that the reason why you might be thinking it's practical, because you got that Taurus third house and it's Venus there. So you need to understand you may have a sense of relatability where you want to love or appreciate, or you're willing to compromise with whoever you're conversating with, as far as whoever is in your arm reach, surrounding, or your environment. And you may think that's the practical thing to do. So that's where you're going to direct the Taurus practicality energy when Venus start to get there and flare it up. And then that might not be still Taurus practicality in the way it wants to be played out, where you're thinking you're doing something that's practical, but it's really self-sabotaging at the end of the day, because it's still filtered through your third house, surroundings, and communication, whatever some friend's saying. And you might believe them or assist yourself with them due to the fact of feeling that energy of your house, thinking it's practical. But it may be practical for Venus things that may go too far to overindulge in. And now it's not actually practical when at the starting point you thought it made sense to do it. But when it all said and done, you'll realize that you got rocked to sleep by your environment, what it forced you to do based upon the peer pressure of the shadows, or whatever peer pressure that your friend give you to make you think it makes sense to go ahead and listen to them and assist them with that Venus energy. Connect and love or appreciate or compromise. Reciprocity. Now, I'm starting to get that habit when I'm on this channel, but YouTube know that's sage, incense, candlesticks, toothpicks. I got from a Hebrew Israelite between Amsterdam and 45th Avenue of Harlem. You know what I'm saying? Just to support the community because I love everybody. Regardless if we can argue with each other, that's us trying to get out of our spiritual floatness because we're here together. That's it. We still can support each other, communities and stuff. All puns intended. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Jews. Other than that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Hebrew Israelite Muslimism. Buddhism. Check it out. I like the candle. I like the smell. Smell real purpley Ninja Turtle, Donatello-y. Yeah, I said real Killer Cam mixtape, the album, Def Jam, Rockefeller, Diplomat. Yeah, I said Purple Haze. I said the candlestick. Good deodorant, ointment, oil, body lotion. Good smell. I like it. I like it a lot, YouTube. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. I can pick my teeth with it too. Sad. Other than that, so you gotta understand the third house. Don't get rocked to sleep by your environment for the sake of love. That may not be practical at the end of the day. Now, when we start talking about the fourth house, say you got Taurus in the fourth house, right? Now there's gonna be a damn happy flight day to all Venuses and Tauruses. You know what I'm saying? Happy flight day. You know what I'm saying? I can share a little bit of that energy, even though it's on the cusp. You know what I'm saying? But it'll really be there once you get into 2 degrees Gemini for me. But for anybody who got Venus or is getting ready to reach that sign, that degree, that demon, happy flight day to your desire. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. But other than that, Venus is back at home anyway. So Venus is kicking her feet up, being lazy, trying to redirect her room because she been in college. So she trying to clean up her rooms because she back at the crib in her own room looking at all the Barbie dolls and stuff she used to play with and stuff and putting them in drawers and boxes and stuff and trying to be a young woman now with the divine feminine energy. So she's trying to be a little bit more stable, a little bit more practical, a little bit more rational. You know what I'm saying? Take a little bit more patience before she just dive into love. Because, when she be in Libra, that's the other, her closet and stuff. And when she be on the phone all the time, sometimes she be rocking other dudes to sleep. She be making them anticipating for stuff she never planned on actually making true and stuff like that. So, yeah, she get flunked out sometimes for the sake of love and get blood on her hands in the wrong way. But so when she get out of her closet and off the phone, she's back just in her room, laying on the bed and looking at all the objects there, back at the Taurus part. You know what I'm saying? So she making a little bit more sense, being a little bit more grounded and putting her phone on airplane mode or something like that, or don't disturb. You know what I'm saying? And taking a little bit more patience before who she opened up to love for. So that's Venus in a nutshell. But for the most part, with Venus in the fourth house right now, and if you got Taurus there, this is going to be your ability to obtain value or to learn how to not self-sabotage things that's dealing with home, family, or privacy, especially when it comes to the things that you love about these things. Because it might be things that you have already loved that turned into pain. Because to get to love, you got to get through pain. To get to heaven, you got to go through hell. So once you accumulate it, how we create pain in the first place, we always create the lighter version. So if you got to get through heaven, you have to go through hell. To get to pleasure, you got to go through pain. Pain is a representation to let you know how you made it in the first place. Hell is a representation to let you know how you made it in the first place. You created too many routines and patterns of self-know energies and made a heaven and turned it into a hell. You created too many pleasures and it became a frustration because you wanted to do it over and over again and get that first high. Being a spirit, getting lost in your chakra, your first desire. So that can manifest and look at anything. A seed that we created down here as mustard seeds and weed plants and all kind of other shit. The shit that you desire to make you excited. Those are spiritual highs, things a spirit can go in that can feel like it's light and not heavy with depression. So it could be light as a feather, and the spirit could jump in that spaceship and float up the way the elements float up in the lighter version of it, and the spirit be inside of it. Oh, I like this ride. But your spirit just having experiences. And how to decipher it is you excited at the moment or you down and depressed at the moment? And what tools, witchcraft, what are you doing with your body? Who are you connecting with in order to make this witchcraft come true? Is you trying to make excited outcomes and events or negative outcomes and events? And it's all on you as a spirit. And God can only give you new ideas. It's up to you to actually do it. And at that point, you wrestling with God, but you have allowed Don King to become your manager, the person who walk out with you, your assistant, the person who put the Shawn Michaels coat on you, Ric Flair robe on you, and made you not care about going to the gym and Esoteric Planet Fitness and care more about the esoteric currency. And then when it's time for your health, mental health to be more important, one match, now you got to be out for 6 months and do six months in the 1 2 3 dimension of reaping what you sow. Getting out of that blockage, getting met with the energy you put in. Now you got to just put as much energy to get out of it. See how that works? Better stop listening to Don King. Don King is with the industry. The industry is the devil. All they know how to do is make Don King rock you to sleep to capitalize off you, then sign your name away. So whether you hurt or not, because you got convinced to not go to Planet Fitness, esoterically speaking, and build your mental strength, then for the most part, they can take your name and give it to anybody that's willing to be another sheep. And that don't allow them to blend it in with an equilibrium energy, go to Planet Fitness and be a sheep. They don't ever need you anymore. They just call them Tina Turner. Call it Turner Tina or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You somewhere, your family can't eat off your name, nothing, no more. That sound like witchcraft to me. I forgot we on StreamYard. Y'all better start learning how to see what's in front of y'all. Let me stop talking about like stuff like that. Astrology, because we all talk about astrology right now. This astrology. Now, let's check this out. Now, so that's for your 4th house. You need to make sure you're not self-sabotaging any energies and you're valuing what you may not be seeing in front of you that creates self-sabotaging energy because you take advantage of something that you're not seeing right in front of you that God might be using as a vessel. So for the most part, here's the thing. You need to make sure that you're valuing these things when it comes to home, family, and privacy. You know what I'm saying? You might put yourself into a situation you might never be able to attain that level of privacy again. And things that, and things of that nature. Being an Aquarius ascendant. But due to the fact of you know how to open yourself and appreciate the little privacy you got, forget all the other frustrations that come with it. You're able to obtain a little bit of knowledge. So when it is time to go into a new space to develop familiarity, so you can find a new space halls in that area, involving yourself with new people, places, and things to develop new privacy. Therefore, you had the right mechanism to have that work sufficiently without you building no resentment going back, aka just carrying baggage. That's what that means. Now. Because you can't technically go back. You're just carrying old shit and you're forced to go forward. So you're just a walking bag of mayonnaise, walking fork cloud. 5th house, right? There's going to be learning how to, so let me speed this up. Learning how to value or not self-sabotage things towards how you express yourself or the things that you want to entertain or point to others that you want them to be entertained by that too, the shit you give attention to, right? So for the most part, you need to learn how to not self-sabotage your relationships due to the fact of how you express yourself and what you want people to pay attention to, whether it's your creative gifts or the things that entertain you or you being entertaining. Or you need to make sure that you're in a situation where you're valuing the little creative gifts that you got and a little bit of attention that you got and appreciate that. So you don't do no extreme energy where it look like you're coming across too strong with the way you express yourself because you're doing it for the sake of some more attention. You need to appreciate the little bit of attention that you got, and you won't never know what you got until it's gone. And that might be able to support you way more than whatever that you're trying to reach for as far as a family, friend, associate, co-worker, or audience that may not be necessarily a real audience. For an example, you see celebrities every day that got fans, but when it comes down to actually supporting them, they don't necessarily have fans like that. And the next wave come, all them fans will go along with that wave. So they necessarily didn't have genuine connections. They just had something that they was participating with as far as a system that the shadow government, tribe of Judah, fashion of government have created. So they did a lot of work for you. You ain't spark your own light. Which is why a lot of people online right now need help when it comes to creating content. and they need to be up under people or be part of platforms. They can't hold a show or rock a show themselves due to the fact of it's not in them, it's on them. So they have to go have a jacket put on them by a corporation or a network or a big homie or something like that. When if it was in you, you know how to go into the woods and make your own coat. Rest in peace, Takeoff. Like he said in that one song, take 5 trips to the take 3, 5 to the tropics. He said, drop me off in the jungle. I bet I come out with a coat. He ain't never lied. That Gemini sun, Libra moon, flunked that ass. Rest in peace, his soul. Now, for the most part, but he ain't never lied, though. He ain't never lied. He dropped some game before he left. He ain't never lied. That's our day and time's 5 heartbeats. You know what I'm saying? Amigos is our day and time temptations. Our day and time. Our parents and grandparents had their version. That's our versions. And everybody who rap and sing now, these are versions. So do know, when you get in your 40s, 50s, and your 60s, and everybody that come up under you, that's how you going to be talking. The same way you think how your parents and your aunties was talking, but that's how you going to talk. Is this your version of it? Is the Migos and everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's Ice Spice. Now, look, check this out. Sixth house. This now with the sixth one, the 6th house in this thing, right? If you got Taurus here, this is going to be learn how to value or not self-sabotage work, health, routines, or your responsibilities. So you need to make sure you value what you actually have at the moment. Have a little patience. That job might be frustrating you, but you might need to value it. It might be any job better than no job. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, you might just jump the gun too fast right now due to the fact of what Venus might force you to do, because it don't allow you to be in a comfort zone. And, you know, Venus and Taurus love comfortability, which leads into laziness sometimes when you got too much overcompensation of it and become spoiled based upon the people or your living condition or however you obtained your material to put yourself in that position where once you obtain something, you stop going as hard as you went for it when you was trying to get it. And a lot of times you don't even have to be a Taurus, but you start participating in Taurus-like energy when you start to relax on that energy of how you manifested it in the first place. You think once you got it, it's good. And you start to manifest again. Once I'm gone, then you realize what you actually had. Then you got to start that energy of how you got it in the first place to get it back. And the window may be a little more closed than it was how you got it in the first place. And that's God showing you reaping what you sow. You got to sit your ass down a little bit more longer and wait for me to open up the window a little further. You know what I'm saying? And anytime you get up and try to open a window, you're going to see that you ain't got God's strength. You're going to see you can't open that window no more. And you might create a situation where it's shortened up a little more just because you're trying to play God. Sit your ass down and wait your turn. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Because you should have took the energy and jumped through the window when it was time. And that's Virgo, that's Taurus in the 6th house for y'all ass to get prepared for as a motherfucker preparation when Venus start to get there. Now, so there's going to be work, health, routines, and responsibilities. Make sure you're not self-sabotaging shit. And make sure that you're valuing the regular things that's in that area of life. Now, 7th house. This is going to be if you got Taurus and Venus there, or is Venus getting ready to transit there. This is what you're going to be experiencing, right? You're going to be experiencing relationships and how you relate. So when you relate to other individuals in their life, you start to affect or flare up their 7th house. So you're going to be what they start to look at online or deal with in their mind when they use that word, this is my relationships. So, you know, everything has a yin and yang. The 7th house is your relationships and how you relate. And how you relate is basically how you deal with your relationships based upon your siblings, your parents, if you got children, your networking, if you married or if you got a partner, however the case may be. Business, all things dealing with cardinal air. But you have fixed earth here. So they're going to share similarities. They're both ruled by Venus, the fixed earth energy, and the cardinal air energy. They're both ruled by Venus, but you might meet a lot of frustrations in your way of developing relationships in your life because you may give more than receiving. And therefore, you might get taken advantage of due to the fact of certain words making you think it was comfortable enough to give whatever you worked hard for. So you're doing it still for love, but you forgot to listen because it's ruled by the air element in the 7th house. But they're both ruled by the Venus energy, but it's filtered through air. So if you don't listen real good, you can get taken advantage of by the individual's speech in your relationships, as far as your family, friends, associate, coworkers, and your networks, and they say certain things even if they don't mean to. In your own mind, you might create a job and think that, oh, for me to have a relationship, I need to make sure I be this part of the stick. And a lot of times it'd be the short end of it. Your money, your patience, your household, your car, just because of how they talk. But they never, y'all get what I'm saying? So y'all got to be careful, Taurus in the 7th house, because you could get blinded because you're ruled by the same planet, but it's not filtered out the same way. The nighttime of it being Taurus, but it's in the house of the daytime of it. So you have to make sure you're not putting light too much, aka putting too much of yourself out there, putting too much of your hand or your card deck out there, letting somebody see your hand, and actually receive more from other people light. The communication from the Venus being filtered through the air, externalized, and therefore you'll be able to go through smoother in your life, especially experiencing this transit that you get ready to experience. You're a ruler, being in the 7th house also. So Venus is confused if it's day or nighttime. So you experience in fall time, even day, even night, for the ruler there. So even though in the spirit world, this is the best time, heaven, in the physical world, this could be one of the worst times. Lost in a desire and not knowing how to deal with it because it's at home, period. It just don't know if it's upstairs, daytime, or downstairs, nighttime. You as a spirit got to get in that body and be like, which room am I at right now? Because you might get confused because one room got your video game in it, the other room got the flat screen, the other room got the fish tank, the other, you know what I'm saying, the dining room got the good meal, and then sometimes you did everything, and you got to wake up at the end of the day and realize you ain't did shit but be lazy. Taurus energy. And sometimes your relationships need action towards it. The way you relate sometimes need action. You know what I'm saying? Footwork, putting in the energy work, not just having faith sitting on your ass, putting in works too. You know what I'm saying? Or this is why you're meeting a demise and your relationships is not playing out the way that they are if you are planting bad seeds. If you watch my channel, I don't think that's happening to you. The best worst thing that's happening to you if you watch my channel is mundane things. You just ain't doing shit with your energy yet. So mundane situations is happening. Just nothing going on yet. And if you want to look at that as bad, that's as far as it could go on a percentage level. If you watch my channel, anybody else, they way on the polar shifts of no, it's just bad. A lot of shit going on. It ain't mundane in their life. It ain't normal. It's just a whole bunch of bullshit going on in their life. I'll say way on the opposite side of the universe from their perspective. You know, because true wisdom lets you know how to not be biased. What might be good for you might not be good for somebody else. What's bad for you might not be bad for someone else. So you might love someone and think what's good for you is good for them. Then built resistance. Now you figuring out why that relationship is not working. Because you got to realize what's good for you might not be good for someone else. Learn reciprocity, bitch. Learn how to relate, bitch. Learn how to compromise, bitch. All right. Now, for the most part, here's the thing. Now we got 8th house. So yeah, because I'm about to start adding people. 8th house. Now, there's going to be deep desires, passions, and motivations that you need to learn how to value, that you have, that you might be holding back. You might be the sexiest motherfucker alive since goddamn any sex model. You know what I'm saying? Goddamn it, Playboy, the Aries, rest in peace his soul. Goddamn it, Hugh Hefner wish he can get back out the grave and jump up so he can pick up one of these new digital cameras so he can make some money off you. You know what I'm saying? Like, God damn, why did I have to die in my time? Why I couldn't come in this new time and see these new sex symbols? Damn, I would have made a lot of money. You know, so that's the Aries way. Aries only know how to create new shit. We don't care about all those other sex magazines. We don't care about all the other comic books or whatever like that. Anytime an Aries involved in something, it's a whole new way about it. So you know Hugh Hefner is an Aries if something is new. Aquarius is unique. Sometimes not always new because you got to rebel against something that's already there. Aries is new. That don't always mean positive. Sometimes something that's new is just destructive. That don't mean it's something new we all need to do. That's something that we don't need to do. It's going to blow up everything. But if you're doing it in the right way, you're the higher octave Aries. So anytime you find a higher octave Aries, it's going to be something new. So we talk about sex magazines. When you get to Hugh Hefner, that's the only one you're going to remember. All the other ones is in the dust now. Oh, I'm saying? I don't even know if it was other ones. I know it had to be, though. I just know if an Aries was in that industry, it's the only one we're going to remember in time. Ew, I've heard of that. Oh, real shit. Don't go no further than that. Now, other than that, like I said, Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan, Shaka Khan. You'll never hear another voice like that. It don't go no further than that. Mariah Carey, you'll never hear another voice like that. It don't go no further than that. It don't go no further than that. You will never see another creature like Shakira. Not Shakira. What's her name? Not Shakira. I forget her name. I don't even know what gender she is sometimes. What's her name? Y'all know her name. Aries, Sun, Scorpio, Moon. I forget her name. Lady Gaga. Yeah, I say you'll never get another creature like Lady Gaga. You'll never get no Aries or creatures. You will never get creatures from here again like that. I'm saying real shit. Whether it play out through the voice, and you can't forget the sound, or how we actually look. That's it. Don't go no further than that. Don't go no further than that. You'll never get somebody laughing that loud in the middle of somebody trying to do stand-up comedy like Eddie Murphy and Nutty Professor. You will never get somebody laughing real loud while somebody trying to joke on stage. They're like, who is that? Who is that? Aries. Aries. And guess who took over the show? And guess who ended up in the piano? I don't even say it no more. Do I need to say anything else? Hey, I rest my case. Real shit. We don't even need other actors in our movies. We got this. We every actor. You know what I'm saying? We the actors and the actresses. We're gonna play grandma. We're gonna play grandpa. We're gonna play Cletus. We're gonna play everybody. We don't need nobody else. I'm tired. Tired of dealing with humans. We ain't even from here. We creatures. I said, look, we got a movie in our mind. Another human can't even get it done. We cool. We every actor then. We gonna be every actor and actress then. Sarah, blockbuster hit. You ain't gonna know if it's different actors or not. Just know you get one hell of a movie. That's it. And I want to follow that. I'll show y'all dealing with creatures down here now. I'm telling y'all now. Aries is creatures. I'll say anything we participate in, it ain't the same. And you only remember it from our name. That's it. You'll never know about astrology no more without hearing your ear on it. That's it. You won't even hear nothing else about Clubhouse no more unless it got something to do with on Thru. We're going to get down. Whack one and all of that. That's it. It'll never be the same. You would never heard about 6ix9ine unless he had Shotty. And all of that. And all of that. You would have never heard of Snoop Doggy Dogg, and Tupac wouldn't have been popping as hard as he was without Suge Knight. I'll say no more. You'll never hear a voice like Shaka Khan. All right, now let's check this out, right? Now, look, like I said, all my 8th house people. You know what I'm saying? Let me stop being biased right now. Let me get back to reality. All my 8th house people, right? You know what I'm saying? Now, let's check this out. You got Taurus, opposite energies. You're already negligent. You're already dealing with the opposite side of energies and elemental concepts in life. You know what I'm saying? Taurus don't like to be here. Venus don't like to be here. They don't even like to be in the 1st house. Or don't like to be in goddamn it, not 4th house, the 6th house. Venus is debilitated in those areas. That's why before I even said that, it sounds strange, even me breaking down it going through the 1st house and it being in your goddamn 6th house. It had more negative percentage levels of energies when I was explaining it than the other signs. And by nature, it's because Venus are debilitated in those signs, those areas of life before the constellation of sign, which is the 1st house, the 6th house, and the 8th house. And you're going to get met with it the worst because it's at its point of return. So you get met with the frustration of it rising again, dick becoming hard or pussy becoming wet. AKA as above, so below, your desires forcing you to do things that may lead you to into manipulative energies and stuff like that, because you don't necessarily want to express that's what you actually want. And depending on how heavy the percentage level, it may be extreme. And therefore, you might lead someone else into a self-demising due to the fact of you not being spiritually wise and knowing how to accumulate these strong energies that can lead you into, if you don't know how to do these things right, you will meet a shadow priest, and now that meets a death, aka a death of the desire, something you're going to have to give up and just be satisfied with. You would never be able to obtain that person, place, or thing, or that desire. And you being frustrated and try to get it again is you just going further down that hole. So you have to become a phoenix again, from ashes to ashes, to dust. Let that die so you could transform, become a better person, and God will bring something in your life that might be even better if you start that path of regeneration. So that's the 8th house. So when we got Venus here, it's going to be experiencing all those energies. And for the most part, it's going to put you in a perspective of learning how to value or not self-sabotage your deep desires, passions, and motivations. So you might got certain passions, motivations, and desires that just ain't manifest yet. You might got certain sexual energies, certain sexual partners that's love interest that just ain't manifest yet. That don't necessarily mean you need to be frustrated or create any self-sabotaging energy and distance and resistance away from it, an opposing energy. You might have to utilize the opposing energy that it don't like to be here, Taurus, patience, practicality, bringing something to the surface. You may have to actually do something, actually express. You know, 8th house like to do things behind closed doors and manipulate a scenario to go into its favor from behind closed doors, then express when the coast is clear that they actually got somebody in their spider web or a circumstance or a situation that they can actually open up and be vulnerable enough with, that they could be like, oh, this is what I was doing the whole time. I just had to be trustworthy and suck you in first, but whether negative or positive. But Taurus don't play here right. Don't play right when it's here like that. You have to bring things to the surface first and be vulnerable, because the 8th house is going to create vulnerability, but it's forcing you to bring things to the surface. So you just have to know what to bring to the surface so you can know the in depth that you're going through has something to stand on, so you don't dive deep into an abyss. Thank you so, which is desires. Thank you so much for the donation, Madison Martin. You said I watch many of your videos, but I can't figure out which house systems do you recommend. Placidus, that the Greek flunked out dude. Because we on the Western Hemisphere. So when they came and made people mutts over here, such as myself, I'm Catawba, but I'm a mutt. So when I be saying I'm a mutt, I'm not just casting stones at y'all. Me too. Why you think I'm so passionate about teaching and learning? It's things I'm discovering about myself. So I think it makes sense for other people to know too. You know? So I'm unbiased. I know how to cherry pick based on practicing these things myself. And me knowing I'm on the Western Hemisphere, when we're mapping out the house system, how we observe the sun and the spaces it go through, when I observe the many house systems in astrology without baggage or being biased, Placidus is right. Every human ain't wrong trying to do manipulation, even if they use certain things for manipulation for other purposes. A lot of times when you're unbiased and you know how to pinpoint the math yourself, okay, now you're right. And therefore, a lot of humans already did a lot of this work for us. And Placidus, whatever how you call it, that Greek dude on the Western Hemisphere, if you're trying to do astrology and astronomy, he's most right. That Greek dude most right. So even if we're a few years ahead, where he a day off or two, that doesn't matter. He's still right, because they did the mathematical and the Gregorian calendar. The purpose of calendars ain't for us to be lost because our mind was used on other things. So we don't get into science, astrology, mathematics, how they made this witchcraft, right? So you think about it as witchcraft, but for the most part, these things is used as the reason we got different calendars. You got to understand the math first. You got men going on different geographical locations, so the observation of the sun is going to be different. So when a person is setting up shop, making a community, a country there, this is why the time may be different, because we're trying to relate the sun transit to that geographical location. So that's the purpose of another calendar, not someone to be lost and don't understand how we make calendars in the first place and to say, oh, the shadow government trying to rock us to sleep. We need to go find another calendar as the ancients told us to follow. No, you're just following when the shadow government made the mathematics of how the sun relate to make the science there. So that's not, so you need to understand life first, go outside before you start getting deep into shit. For an example, sidereal and Vedic. You think that you are the sign 22 degrees back. So you think you are that sign, but you live in the Western Hemisphere. So the reason when you learn Vedic and sidereal, you learn it is 22 degrees back as above, because you're up under that transit 22 degrees back when you travel the distance, geographically speaking. So if you're not born in the Eastern continents, you're not the sign 22 degrees back. If you was born on the Eastern continents, you're just that sign. So if you're trying to relate it to the Western hemisphere, then you would have to say that if I was born in the Western hemisphere, I would be the sign 22 degrees ahead. Because if I was to get on a plane and travel to America, it would take me this long to get from the Eastern continents to America. So the atmosphere is different, and it take me that long to get there. That's the mathematic physics. And then that's the mathematic esoteric astrology we pull out of it to come up with the science of the different calendar systems of astrology. So it's not for you to think with some fake Christianity, but you ain't a Christian no more. So you use astrology to be a Christian. And then you just want to feel good and say, oh, I think I'm that sign 22 degrees back because people used to teach that 2,000 years ago. But you don't understand the reason it's a different time and calendar, because it was made to track the sun, how it's being related on that land. You're on the Western hemisphere. So you're the degrees the way we see the sun now, which is tropical astrology. It's called tropical for a reason. It's outlining from our perspective based upon the geographical location. Last time I checked, you're in America. You was born on America. So you need to observe the stars from that perspective. So that's what make Placidus right. That's what make Western astrology right. The math of it, not the spookism and you wanting to believe something. Understand where these things come from first, then bring the spookism. But you'll be right with the spookism at that point. You know what I'm saying? Therefore, for an example, I'm an 8 degree Sagittarius moon. If I pick up the phone and talk to somebody who was born in the Eastern continents on the same day as me, by them being born over there, their moon sign will be 15 degrees Scorpio. So that's not for me to be born in America and be like, oh, well, I'm really a 15 degree Scorpio because Vedic and sidereal teaches 22 degrees back based upon the stars being there. No, it's for me to understand the mathematics. Oh, I'm on the Western hemisphere. So from the perspective, the degree is at 8 degrees Sagittarius. If I was on the Eastern continents, the degree from the land and the sun will represent 15 degrees Scorpio. So me and the person on the Eastern continents is the same sign. We just got different names because we're at different periods. But if you was to get on a plane, and let's say we got fast planes that can skip through time and get to a geographical location way faster. It might be daytime where you at, and soon as you zoom to the Eastern continents, it's nighttime there. So that's let you know the mechanism of the importance of understanding the mathematics. As above, so below. The landmass and as above. How long it takes for the sun transit to get from that landmass to the other landmass from the perspective of the humans that's on the landmass making the mathematics. You get what I'm saying? As above, astronomy. As below, creating virtues and principles out of it. A religion out of it. A way to live on earth out of it. And we call it nature. That's nature. Higher natures, stars. Lower natures, the season transition, animals, and your body. Period. And my bad, y'all. But yeah, we gotta get into esoteric though. But let me start adding y'all. Now, for the most part, like I said, right now, 9th house. Let me run through this. 9th house, right? This is gonna be you learning how to value. Let me finish the 8th house. I don't think I made the point. I don't want to leave that as a fart cloud. Let me anchor that with the anchor. I got that on my altar too, the physical anchor. I know how to practice all this shit. I got glitter on it. Y'all seen it. But for the most part, here's the thing, right? Deep desires, passions, and motivations. Make sure that you're valuing what you already got and what partner you already got if things are fucked up at the moment, even if it's not dealing with a partner. The things you're connected to and creating sex with. The joining of two or multiple energies to create another one or others. So your ability to relate to someone mentally, that's good sex. Your ability that you're frustrated around someone, y'all can't get with good terms and conditions, y'all can't have sex. Both of y'all are in a space developing similar energies. So those are two of the same energies and it could create it create harm, it create harm, not helpful energy, harmful energy. So y'all butt heads and frustration. It's not a blending in and the sex. It's a frustration until y'all take y'all water cycles and go y'all separate ways. But for the most part, that's the 8th house. So you want to make sure you're not self-sabotaging what's already there, and value is what's already there. If you haven't planted bad seeds, you might got to transform how I was breaking it down previously. 9th house, right? Learn how to value or not self-sabotage your experiences that you expand in, that you want to expand in. So you got to learn that, people, places, and things, and your knowledge and your wisdom that you obtaining to develop that to be your morality or your education system. You need to make sure that you're valuing these things and not creating no self-sabotaging things, because these things are creating events that show you that they don't work. You might got a moral system that show you that shit ain't working and you still ain't manifesting. Don't be frustrated. Create that situation to value that experience so you can evolve, not create self-sabotaging based on throwing stones at whoever gave you that wisdom to express that in the world just to get negative results and for you to be mad and play victim and cast that at someone else, a generational curse. And your mama ain't know no better, so she don't need to hear your mouth either, even if it's low-key justified. Now, for the most part, 10th house, right? Your career, business, or status. You need to make sure that you're valuing these things, even if you got little to no business. Esoterically speaking, you don't know how to ground your business and you're too gossipy and it's not structured all the way down to your physical business. You might not be in a position how you see yourself or what's expected from you from others at the moment. So you feel this weird energy of not showing yourself as much because you kind of feel embarrassed where you really don't need to. Another person probably not even looking at you in that magnitude. So for the most part, you need to make sure that you're in a situation where you're valuing what you do got and not do too much to the point that you actually lose what you already have when it comes to the little business, career, or status that you do have. 11th house, your associations and associates. You need to make sure that you're valuing the ones that need to be valued without creating too much self-sabotaging energy. Because you might be in a situation where, there might be certain things in front of you as far as what you could be associated with or your associations, but you too busy self-sabotaging and things of that nature, and now you don't have anything to be associated with when it comes to your dreams and imagination due to the fact of your insecurities or your inability of knowing how to apply yourself and associate yourself with life. So during this particular time, this is what's going to be on the Venus energy, forcing you to pay attention to. And last but not least, 12th house, right? This is going to be your dreams, fantasies, and imaginations that you need to learn how to value and not self-sabotage. There maybe have dreams that you had that you expressed to family, friends, associates, and coworkers that they may have shot down with esoteric stones to make you feel like it's not a good idea. That's not for you to get rid of it and feel bad about yourself. You might need to readjust some things and come better next time, where it's a stronger idea to make somebody a believer in whatever creative attribute that you're trying to express. So that would be the energy that you need to make sure you value and don't self-sabotage by thinking, oh, this ain't shit. Let me just go procrastinate, aka go to the esoteric drawing board. No, you need to look at this like, wait a minute, what did I do wrong? Well, let me come better like this and let me see if this is right. And now you more adjusting, and you willing to be open to resistance. So the resistance become an energy that you can combine with and turn it into an ego or vulnerability and blend it together, become a child like a phoenix. And for the most part, that's the energy you need to be looking for. All right, now we can start adding people. But now we can get into the divine masculine and feminine. I don't know who's been in here cleaning this long. You know what I'm saying? But the divine masculine, divine feminine. So let me just run that down real quick in this motherfucking shit, and then we'll open up. So the divine masculine, it's the ego, aka how you protect yourself. Make sure you're not protecting negative shit, aka creating false lights and perceptions. The divine feminine, this is your vulnerability, aka the very thought and feelings you're trying to protect. So these are your internal yin and yang thoughts and feelings. Your external yin and yang thoughts and feelings is your ego. And we got tools to understand these things, especially like when it comes to astrology. You might have certain planets when it's in its masculine energy, the daytime cycle. When the cycle's thoughts and feelings crash to emit that light as a spirit, you directing that water cycle in those events to create that light, that sun and moon, the light and a reflection, the light that get emitted and a reflection to take the shape and form of the atmosphere, which is your mind, the water, to bend in and create organs in those shapely fashions. So that's just another tool, but just esoterically speaking, your divine masculine is the ego, aka how you protect yourself, and you can use your sun sign for that. Your divine feminine is your moon sign as a tool, the very thing that need to be protected, because once something pierces through that, you're naked as a spirit, as an individual soul. And once you're naked, you're see-through, you have nothing around you as a safe haven to protect you feeling exposed or you feeling like you don't know something. And now you're going to start to create a bunch of self-sabotaging energy or a bunch of resistance towards others in that space. So in a nutshell, the divine masculine is the ego, aka how you protect yourself. Make sure you're not protecting negative shit, aka creating false lights and perceptions. And the very same thing that you're trying to protect, we call this the divine feminine, aka an allegory to your vulnerability. The very thought and feeling that you're trying to protect, your ability to receive and be open to something. And it can be closed up if you're using too much divine masculine, because you're doing too much protection and it may be nothing there for you to be protecting yourself from. Loosen up, open yourself up. And then sometimes you can be too vulnerable and it leads into being naive and gullible. Then you got to fight fire with fire, create an ego in order to protect yourself from being open and exposed. So when you blend these things together, you become a phoenix, a living example on how to not be in no ego above everyone, but you don't want to go beyond earth, extend to greater thoughts and be the example of a direction and a path where others can go without you being a middleman. And people could go in that direction in their own way, in their own path, go to the water fountain and make their own cup, or the esoteric beach in front of God's waterfront and pillar. Or you could be the self-sabotaging individual where you just be amongst the thieves and the demons, and you're just laying in the bed and you're smiling and making your weight and things. That's the divine vulnerability. You just accept being vulnerable and getting taken advantage of and never being valued, praised on your heights for how special you are. Or you could blend those two energies together and become an intelligent spirit inside of that spaceship and make it a phoenix, where it goes above and beyond and able to not be humble, but be modest. Know how to come down just low enough to relate to others, to show them when you do go up where that ego place at, you don't stop to be an ego to think you're a middleman or middlewoman. You show them that you can go further than that because you got a spaceship that can go beyond this atmosphere. Out of this thought, have better thoughts and ideas that if you choose to come back down here, you bring in some new alienistic God shit down here. I'll be like, real shit. So the divine masculine is the ego, how you protect yourself, make sure you're not protecting negative shit. And the divine feminine, your vulnerability, aka the very thoughts and feelings that you're trying to protect. So the divine feminine has the dream to be able to uphold something. The divine masculine has the dream to create a form to be upheld. Let me repeat. When it's starting to play out through males and females, being an androgynous spirit, and you choose to have this kind of experience at the moment with that mind and organ. So if you are a spirit at this experience, being an androgynous, and you choose the female organ, you resonated in the spiritual world just this time. You had many lives, being a male and female, plants, bugs, animals, just this time, because you wanted to have this kind of experience. You chose more of the divine feminine energy, the ability to receive and be vulnerable and to uphold something. So those chakras is more of the moon side of the water cycles. So the organs that you made, you wanted to have that experience. So we're all 100% androgynous, but based upon the organs squaring out the circle in your parameter, you pick one. So 10% is off. So based upon the mentality and the organ, you're going to have 60% of the divine feminine energy, vulnerability, and 40% of the divine masculine. So you have both natures, but it might be a little harder to access one than the other. So your ability to be androgynous again, to remind yourself to blend it in, the best way you can is how you be divine again, period. So you have no choice but to play out 60-40%. But to get to that 50% again, that small 10%, what outweighs it is the divine feminine energy, feelings, emotions, and the organ that it chose, the female body. So that makes it 60%, and the divine masculine 40%. And as a spirit, you got to remember to blend it in. So it's not you acting masculine, it's just you using the masculine energy, the ability to think. And don't get lost in thought to the point that you don't care about emotions. You just care about thought. Even when if you just fucking, it's for the thought of getting money. And you hard on these men like they hard on hoes type energy. That's what a thought is. Basically a female that's lost in thought, and she got rid of her divine feminine and only transmuted it to look like divine masculine. So she don't really care about feelings in the way the female do. She only care about utilizing the divine thought, and that's it, because she could get something out of it. So she's lost in thought, or the thought of things, not the feeling of it. So she got rid of her divine feminine and made it 30% divine feminine and like 60% divine masculine. And now she's living backwards. And this is what we get as feminists. And then we're going to get into the red pill shit. How divine masculine become red pill shit. I gotta teach y'all. I'm sorry. I'm gonna add people. I love teaching. I don't know what else to do. I'm saying real stuff. It's all good knowledge. But let's check this out, right? Y'all hit that flight button too. Now, when it comes to so the divine feminine has the dream to be able to uphold something. You see what I'm saying? Now, the divine masculine, you're androgynous too. But if you pick the male organ and masculine chakra, the ego, right, you're going to be 60% divine masculine and 40% divine feminine. So you have to blend that together also. And how the female and the male blend these things is the man has to use a small portion of the divine masculine and use it to be vulnerable a little bit. The female has to use the large portion and take a small percentage level out of the divine feminine and use it for a little bit of the divine masculine. Therefore, she could be a little bit more logical how she used her divine feminine. And in the man side, he could be a little bit more open into how he uses divine masculine. And therefore, when the divine masculine is interacting with another divine masculine, they're able to be more open with each other before butting heads and one going to jail or one going to hell or one assassinate each other's character. So we're doing that in the mind. And when the divine feminine start to interact with their external counterparts as family and friends, as another female divine feminine, right? And instead of them being more button heads and competing, they're more open and more, what's that word? Compassion. More compassionate with the other person and their circumstance, where they don't become tooth and nail and too masculine and competing in some way, shape, or form, where it just end up into a situation where it's fake phony, it's fake friends, where it's really just the enemy keeping themselves closer than friend. Keep your enemy closer than your friend. That's a secret saying based upon how females develop friendships. Sometimes females don't even know how to develop a friendship if it ain't secretly their enemy. And the spirit deep down inside of the androgynous concept, utilizing through the female organ and chakras, y'all already know that's what be happening. Y'all know y'all friends is the person you competing with or really your enemy. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be trying to play this weird game of I got you first. But y'all don't even, it's boring if y'all don't have friendships like that. So y'all don't know that's what's going on in the spiritual world. So in reality, y'all don't even think y'all even have friends if it ain't built on that type of context. So the reason you don't have friends, because you don't got no other females around you who participate in a demonic world like that. And that's literally how the shadow government be having us too. Like real shit. So you'll find yourself being more cool with dude friends and stuff like that too. Even if you ain't fucking them, you just like to relate to that energy a lot more. It's not necessarily your fault. It's just like the way the shadow government is structuring everybody's brain, which also leads into becoming a feminist. You know what I'm saying? To certain degrees. That also leads into like all these red pills and stuff like that, because we don't know what we're paying attention to except Walt Disney. You know what I'm saying? So the issue comes from not having an example how to go about it, nor do we know this is the purpose which the shadows create their versions of how they want y'all to do it via, they call it Roman romance, Roman retards, hasta la vista, baby. You know what I'm saying? Total recall, Roman retard energy, or what Walt Disney have created, aka their industry. When I be saying Walt Disney, I don't necessarily be just singling out Walt Disney. They whole little practice of all their industries. Walt Disney is one of the hardest ones with their witchcraft. Other than that, you know, I'm just talking about all that shit. All right, now we can start adding people now. We can get into this good conversations and shit about what we need to do in each area of our life, the houses, and how to deal with the divine masculine and feminine. You know what I'm saying? And how we need to correlate these things so we don't keep creating these gender wars. Yeah, I'm saying real. Yeah. But I know I need to take care of my 10th house. I got Taurus in the 10th house. So I got to make sure I value my career, my status, what I'm known for, regardless of what the shadow government is doing right now. I got to make sure I value that, because if I don't value that, nobody else will. And if that's me not getting washed up under the current, feeling down, taking breaks, that's me like, all right, let me use this to transmute it. And therefore, I'm valuing it. So I'm not creating no self-sabotaging energy if I do it in a Taurus way, right? Because Venus is there. So I'm already Taurus there, but Venus might make me be persuaded to do other things of that nature and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I actually got Venus there all year round. That's my actually alignment. I got Venus in the 10th house period. So it's just about to charge me up. That's part of why I've been talking about building other people's pages and shit. Building, that's Taurus 10th house, and other people relating, that's Venus. So that's why I've been thinking like that. Because that's not normal for Aries. The Aries don't give a fuck about nobody. I say fuck y'all real quick. I be having to remind myself I'm here for humanity. And I be having to create missions about it and call it, oh, this is my way of shadow work. But it might not even have anything to do with shadow work. I might could live and die not giving a fuck about nobody. That probably don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I choose to make my own purpose. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't no purpose of me having all this good knowledge and shit if I'm not relating it to other people. Because I'm tired of falling in this world. I'm tired of falling in this world and keep coming back here and doing all this dumbass shit. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. But yeah, y'all did that link and shit. If anybody got any questions or need a rundown. And me saying that, that's not me saying that if you didn't have no question before, I need you to come up with one and click the link. If you in that mind state, you probably somebody I don't even want to talk to. Like talk to people with their own brain. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, you know what I'm saying? not a show me type person. Those are examples of follower energy. I'm an Aries. I don't necessarily resonate with following energy. I like to create leaders, so we're all following each other. Not someone I gave the idea to start acting in that way. No, at that point, it's like it's not useful, because then when I'm gonna need you to actually do something, you don't got even the right mind state to know that's what's needed. So whenever I get in my weird Aries moods and stuff and ups and downs emotionally, you ain't gonna know what's going on. And at that point in my mind, I'm like, this is a weak ass spirit anyway. I need to be acting the way I act so they can get the fuck on. And therefore, I probably turn into the devil around you. You probably think I'm the devil at that point. Yeah, but it's for you to wake up. I'm saying real shit's only for you to wake up. That's all. I'm saying, because you put me to sleep in some way with your energy. I'm saying real shit. You know what I'm saying? That's how you gotta look at spirits. If you watch my channel, you gotta look at your family like that. You gotta look at your friends like that. You gotta look at your associates like that. You don't care about yourself then. I don't care about any idea you get ready to come up with to go against what I just said. To me and God, that look like you just don't care about yourself. That's it. You don't know how to be hard on motherfuckers. So, of course, you ain't about to be respected. And last time I checked, God said, fuck all that love shit. You want to be respected first. And a person might love to respect you. So, you could go and search for love. You ain't always going to be respected. And then you might be in search for love and never get that either. So you ain't got respect or love. God said, just get respect first. Fuck who love you or don't, and you might still get possibilities of being loved. So you always want to go for respect first. That's why God don't come down here and show y'all no love no more. Y'all be too flunked out. God be like, man, I need them to be just like me. They can't even be next to someone who more flunked out than them. What make them think that them in need of me, I want to be around them? Now, God don't be like that. God be like, hell nah. All them spirits in that little space of reality be like, man, fuck them. They need to be whatever world they need to be in a little longer there. And whoever they crying to ain't us, because we don't even live life like that. We're trying to create a body. We low-key want to come back where y'all at, but like we just got to move on, because we took all the forms there. So our spirit contracted and expanded, birth, life, and death too many times. So we got too many abilities to take them kind of forms. So we can't even go back in that kind of space. So they be jealous a lot of times, like, why y'all keep taking advantage of that little weak stage y'all in, that if they was in that stage again, they'd be having a ball. So y'all just keep creating hells down here that's supposed to be a heaven. That's how they look at it. They be like, man, keep them spirits the fuck away from us, Uriel. Real shit, Uriel. If they ain't converted and became soul group or subconscious community, do not bring none of them weak ass spirits on your spaceship and show them this dope location and this area in esoteric world. And I'll be listening. Real shit. I might have made a mistake a few times, but nah, I know better. I know better. Real shit, because they don't do me no good. I'll be punished and cast out and gotta work my way back. I disappear in some distant land. We'll figure out how I got there. God shot me there, and I gotta figure out my way back. So I be having to figure out how life got created, how I got lost in this desire again. Because if I get too lost in that desire, I might just say fuck it and start living in that world amongst y'all again, and start using these religions and shit for other shit. And y'all start seeing me prosper and all that, and what all that weak ass shit. Man, fuck all that. I always know my way back home. I always know my way back home. God ain't never got worried about me. I always know my way back home. And I always know why I got cast this out. So I never come back with a complaint. I never come back in the physical form like how y'all humans do and be crying and all this kind of shit in that kind of way and shit and forgot. I'll never cuss out God and say, God, why this, why that? I know exactly why I got casted out. And I come back with a smile on my face. And I might thank God because I'm like, damn, if I didn't get casted out, if I would have went to a situation and God made life different, anytime I would have disappeared and cast out and got lost into a dark or light chakra, I might have not known it was even a concept of going back somewhere or going to somewhere forward. So I might have just been lost in the sauce forever, like how I be seeing y'all demons and humans and shit. So I'd be like, thank you, God. Yeah, I'm saying real shit. I'm saying real shit. What's going down? Let me fix this layout. I was going down.
Hi. First I want to tell you there's a troll. I know you said you don't care.
Oh, the troll. I ain't what's the troll name?
All possibilities. SMH.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's a troll name off the back. Thank you. Block this motherfucker. Get your ass out of here. Oh, I said I'm gonna put that. Oh, her and that. Hey.
But besides that, I did want to say back when you was talking about like just the gender wars and stuff. Like you personally helped me like with my, because I have a Gemini moon, so that's a masculine, like how you were saying the women, the moon is your like the divine feminine. Like my divine feminine in this incarnation is in a masculine sign, so it's like I overthink and stuff like that. But like I refer back to your video, like how to meditate using your moon sign. So like that really helps me. Like I just, like, you know how you could give somebody a cup and then, I mean, not give somebody a cup, but bring somebody to the water. Like that was that for me. Cause then I'm like, oh, okay. So then like I already knew just growing up, like in music or to dance or songs or painting or whatever. But then like to know what's going on, kind of like the guy said last time, like you can know how to drive a car, but to have the blueprint of how it was made, that's like really dope because you know like why stuff is happening, so you don't have to ask why and stuff. So yeah,
right. Yeah, especially for air moon. Oh, yeah, go ahead. My bad. Oh yeah, I was about to break down for air moons and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like real like music, things like that. Especially because like the masculine energy don't necessarily mean y'all act like men and things of that nature. It just means y'all attracted more to the masculine energy. And the masculine energy just means things that move, things that's velocity. So a lot of times that could be like mind chatter. So y'all versions of meditation doesn't always necessarily deal with standing still, the way shamans be trying to teach it and things of that nature. That's probably like one of the worst things ever, trying to just sit Indian style for a long period of time for any air sign, sun, moon, or ascendant. So like being active for things that match y'all inner energy, especially for air moons, like being active, like with music and stuff like that. That's a form of meditation. So a meditation just means any meditated state. And fire signs got their own meditated state. Water signs got their own meditated state. Air, earth, and based upon you being a mixture, because I know you're a Pisces sun. Also, and you got that little cusp between Aries and ascendant, Aries and Pisces. You have to filter it through each energy. Your ascendant just represents your personal interest and what develops on your personality. Your moon represents your emotions. Your sun represents your actions. So each of them got their own meditated mechanism. So every now and then you might connect. It might be a day in a transit in the sky where you might connect more with the moon. But based upon what's going on in the environment and what you're seeing, you might still be uncomfortable. So it might still be hard to meditate in that air moon way due to the fact of your sun needing to be meditated in a certain way at that moment based upon the transits. So every now and then having like square alignments in your chart, those be the weird experiences you may experience too. And that goes for all other signs too who got square energies in their chart, like sun and moon, Sagittarius, Gemini, or Pisces, Gemini, and Virgo, Sag, and stuff like that, or even a fixed and a cardinal elements. So yeah, so every element and stuff like that got their own meditated system, and just learning how to do that and mix them together, we come up with some whole new shit, and we could teach another person how to resonate with energies, especially when we got mixtures between our sun, moon, and our ascendant. Because the better we know how to handle that energy, the more powerful we is, because we got more access to elements than the average individual who probably just got a whole bunch of the same elements. You see what I'm saying?
And I also find myself like doing that a lot. And that's a Pisces complex too. Like trying to, like I can spot things in other people very quickly. But then when it comes to shadow work, I'm like, oh, I thought it was the perfect, like whatever. And then it's like, no, everything that you just pointed out in them is a little piece of you. That's how you even know it. I think I'm still learning a little bit about that. But
Nah, you're right. Everything we attract is like a piece of us inside, and then it manifests as an event. So even like it be flunked out people that come into our life, even like sometimes people that come and go, like just strangers that we kind of aware of. So they're not technically strangers, but they're not close enough to be in our life every day. That they still are like a character inside of us, that for us to be in a certain energy, we manifest the actual person that got those similar traits, and how we interact with them externally is also another tool we could use for shadow work. You know what I'm saying? So this is how sometimes when we don't allow people to get closer, when we can see their actions from a mile away, like it might be a coworker or something like that, that we start resonating with and thinking that, okay, I can allow this person in my personal life. But if we're not in this perspective I'm talking about, that might be the first person not to let in your business. You might let them know something. They tell everybody I work your business and shit like that. Just not having like that self-awareness and shit. So yeah, we got to be real concisive when we start to interact with the world, because if the mind can play tricks on us.
So do you think it's like a jump rope type thing? Like, because like there's people that, how you say, you could see potential in them, and then the next day they just show you like all their demonic traits, like, and you're like, oh wait, so we weren't making that progress, or whatever was in my head or whatever. But then I feel like once, like just personally, like noticing the patterns or whatever, once you like leave them alone or don't be so on them, it's like they just come around and be like, oh, you taught me this and blah blah blah, and you on to the whole next thing, and they're still thinking about like, oh, you helped me this one time when you said that. I was like, and then you're just like, I didn't even think you was paying attention, because the energy you gave me was not receptive. And that goes into the divine feminine and stuff, like even talking to your girlfriends or your mom and your aunts and stuff, like they can bring you down so quickly, and we can uplift each other so quickly. Like if we're going through a heartbreak or whatever, we call up our girl. You could be, I mean, whatever, it takes time, but you could be up and happy and fuck that Glorilla the next day. Or like,
Right.
I don't know, I just feel like women are so powerful, and like what state that we're in, like, can really influence. And then like for the men, shout out to you again, because like you give that direction, so you have like that safe space to be like, okay, I'm not wrong when I act like this, because a lot of the time it's like women don't know how to act, like,
right,
or when
and then that go ahead.
they're acting like little boys or men, because they're trying to be like the greatest version of a man that they've seen, like whether it be the president or their dad, who might have been a beta or whatever, bitch, whatever you want to call them. So yeah,
Right.
the world's flunked.
Right. Yeah, it's all flunked out and shit like that. And then, like I said, like it ain't no example out here and stuff. And then all the Walt Disney and the television shows and commercials and shit make it worse. So then none of us know how to act, the divine masculine or the divine feminine. So we all out here looking like chickens with no heads. But going through these experiences, it's making us realize, okay, we got to do something not right. And that's reaching us to all these conclusions we in now. So but I'm glad the world not too much into that goddamn gender war shit. You know what I'm saying? It's starting to light up more and more now. Now it's just time for everybody to create circumstances and situations and figure out how to do it throughout all these shadow government allegories they got us in, to make it seem like we got a social distance again.
Yeah. Oh, and that's what I was gonna say too. Like, well, that's what I was thinking earlier, because I was watching some red pill, whatever, just to like refresh on what they be talking about. And I think well, obviously, it's part of well, we want this not for the algorithm, but depopulation control, because it's like if the men are like, and shout out, I have no, you know, bias against these people, but if you're transgender or all the men are turning feminine, then you're not having babies, or you're having a
Right.
metaverse baby that you download the DNA or some weird shit, like, and they're really, because the people are gonna say, okay, we don't want war, like how it was like war before, now it's like psychological warfare, oh, social distance and a mask, and then like, not
PS2,
to
Xbox
project the
5,
next step,
Xbox 3. Yeah.
not to project the next step, I don't know, but the gender wars is a perfect way, like, to for people to just be like, oh, fuck you, I'm not having a kid, or abortionist and all whatever, which is, you know,
Right.
it's
And,
good in
right. And
moderation.
right, and they're giving everybody like excuses and conveniences. So they got all these synthetic versions of having kids and stuff now. So the average individual could be like, "Oh, I can still have a kid because we got science now," and it's not genuine, and it's not the way God created it. So yeah, it could get weird. It could get real weird. Oh
So,
shit. But yeah, shout out to Waves. You got a last day for us before we let other people. It's like a few people in the chat.
no, I'm good. Shout out to everybody. Keep doing shadow work. Yeah.
Real shit. Shout out to Waves in the building. Soul room, y'all. Real shit. Real shit. Real shit. Who's this in the dark?
Yo.
No, ain't no yo nothing. No, not the night for dopes. You know what I'm saying? Oh,
Uh,
I
was that?
thought you was a dope. I thought you was
Nah,
a dope.
nah, bro. I've been watching
Ooh,
you
shit.
for years, bro. Like,
What's going down?
shit, nothing much. Just listening to, you know what I'm saying,
So
you,
what you
bro.
know about the divine masculine then, divine feminine, or what you got for us?
I mean, honestly, I think it's three, like divine masculine, divine feminine, and then there's a third part, and that like makes the Trinity. Like that makes the T. That makes the
Father, mother, child. Divine masculine, divine feminine coming together and creating that phoenix. Father, mother, child.
right. Exactly. And that's why like sometimes I'll be like 1 + 1 don't equal 2, it equals 3. You feel me? Like or not.
Yeah, I've been saying that for years.
Facts. And I never heard you say that, but the fact that like we just connected and you feel me, that's just, you know, a definition of 3. I feel like I don't know. You feel me?
Who said we connected? Y'all got to be careful with these words and stuff like that. I feel what you said, though. Shy out homeboy, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? I get real. When it comes to these spells, though, man, it get real exclusively. Real stuff. It get real exclusively. Y'all said God ain't really tell me to be connecting with no man that way. Y'all said God told me to connect the mind rituals and stuff like that. Y'all thought, oh, bitch. You just asked a question and learned something today. Now, it's time in the backseat. Oh, you don't get to tell me we connecting. Oh, real shit. Real shit. Oh, say what's going down on the at the end of my journey.
Hey, Flight Boss. I just wanted to come up here and say, like, I really respect you, and I get that a lot of people, when they in the chat and whatnot, and just in general, like, understanding what space you be speaking from, they really don't be getting what the fuck you be saying. But I wanted to say, like, I feel you. Like, I really be there. And also, too, just, I was kind of flunked trying to get through this chat. I was late. Like, I had to watch the replay and shit, but um last time I was on here, or like one time I got on here, I was talking about people need to do their shadow work, because I do like a lot of inner child healing and shit like that. And I guess I just wanted to say, like, you know, a lot of us, we need to always just remember you got that divine masculine and feminine energy inside of you. So don't be scared to just like go to that other side and like see yourself, like why you acting how you acting or whatever. Because I think sometimes that's all it be. Like people just that, like that gender, the battle of the sexes and everything. Like it's just people separating themselves and not seeing like that person got feelings just like you, even though fuck your feelings and your thoughts and shit. But you know, still on, we all on the same level. Like, yeah,
Right. Yep. I call it the Hall of Mirrors. Yep. Doing shadow work
right,
before you even present yourself to the public, because that'll just be you wasting somebody else's time or creating a whole bunch of self-sabotaging energy,
right,
developing new insecurities. So as long as we put our own shadow work in first, we know how to present ourselves in the world and know what to look for as far as, potential partners and all this type of stuff. But that's just not going on in the world right now, because the spirituality and the conversations we having is not necessarily being had. So,
right,
when people are just not when people are oblivious to that, sometimes we get a lot of these individuals that come on this channel, and then they end up being trolls or retarded people who don't know how to do shadow work, and they missing the whole point going over their head on what the discussion is about. So I feel you on that too.
real
And
shit.
that's what we need to start peeping game. And even if a trolls is even watching at the moment, this is them allowing them to learn at the moment, like, okay, y'all flunked out, but you still get the message. Still
Right,
get the message.
right. Um, I guess another thing I would say too is like, I think you talked about this once about uh should you struggle in a relationship or just be solo dolo and stuff. I will kind of say like you should, to a certain degree. I always had this idea growing up, like, oh, you should be solo dolo till you find your person and then y'all join y'all worlds together. But truthfully, I kind of feel like it's kind of one mixed bag. So I don't know how that, in a weird way, it still applies to what we're talking about because we helping people come together in a weird way. But I guess I would just like to put that out there too. Like, if you guys do got somebody around or you know what kind of level you on, like, don't be scared to just make those connections and shit, or even if you feel like somebody doing better than you or whatnot, like, if you fucking serious, be serious. Don't bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Don't waste people's time because you're gonna waste your time. And just like we was talking about, you're gonna be light years behind trying to catch up just because you was trying to fuck with somebody and they on their journey and they on their path. So know where you at, because I hate that shit when I feel like I'm trying to connect to somebody and they see where I'm headed or they see how fast I'm going and then I try to slow down, like, and then I didn't realize I'm slowing down for this person. So just don't,
Right.
like, respect where people is at. Like, that's why I be telling people too, like, even on my channel, I'll be like, respect Dolo. Like, he don't fucking know y'all. He don't know y'all from a can of paint. So why y'all coming in his chat, moving certain ways behind closed doors weird? Like, I don't know nothing, but
Right.
I feel that shit and I don't like that shit. Cause that, all that energy, all that speculation, everything y'all doing is getting away. That's the cloud. Like, you just sitting there like, oh yeah, I'm finna talk shit all day about Dolo or whatever weird shit y'all be doing. Like, that don't got nothing to do with the goal, and you getting further away from God and whatever your mission is in your journey that you're supposed to be on. So please come correct, okay, when you
Right.
come on.
Right. And she's speaking real facts. Real facts. Cause like, yeah, it get crazy and people get the wrong idea. What you say?
I said, I'm sorry, I just be coming crazy, but I don't be trying to. Like,
Nah, that's not crazy. That's how I come. Like real shit. Cause like people just don't be understanding. And sometimes I don't even be having the time to even pay attention to it. But then when I do see it, it becomes ridiculous. And it's, people miss the whole point and turn it into something else. And not even respecting people's position, like you said, too. And that goes for anybody, not just YouTube and a fame on YouTube. When a person is on a spiritual path, that's a position and that's a goal. And a lot of times people don't even understand that and just mix waters together that don't necessarily belong where it needs to be. And then it makes a bad cloud, like you said. So
right.
yeah, it's I don't know what's going on out here. It's crazy.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, just stay doing what you're doing, like, stay, spiritually protected, because, like, it's even how we be talking. I always say, like, when you call shit out, you you cast it out. You know what I'm saying? So just keep calling shit out like you've been doing. You already know what to do. Like, I don't gotta tell you shit. But I'm here to say I'm supporting you and I'm doing my job over here to just like protect the spaces. I'm out here in Atlanta, and I'm helping in the ways I can, the best way I can in my position. So I say I support and I respect you, and y'all, like, listen up. Like, you in class right now. So if you're not paying attention now, don't think like when he get to the next level you finna be rolling up to the school or whatever he has planned, because I don't even know.
Right.
Just do
Nah,
what,
you kicking some shit. Real shit.
yeah. So that's all I got to
Yeah.
say.
Shout out to Iman's Journey. And it definitely is headquarters in the ATL. That's the third home right there. Real shit. And she kicks some real game. You know what I'm saying? And that goes especially for trolls, because trolls don't just necessarily understand. You know what I'm saying? Or even flunked out people that just watch, but just not on the level playing field of what we need to be into when it comes to materializing mentally and seeing it in reality in the physical form. And if it's just gonna be a whole bunch of fart clouds being manifested and stuff like that, that's not nothing productive and things of that nature. So yeah, I totally get it too. That's what I be peeping game. That's why I be going in. Oh shit! Anytime people get flunked out, it's going down.
What's going down? How are you? I'm just happy to be here. I've been doing my homework. And my question is like, how would you suggest like the divine feminine prepare herself even just to be in union with divine masculine?
Well, like that's why I said we have to change ourselves. So I was gonna get into that. As far as the divine masculine, we have to know how to actually be divine masculine. So when we are teaching each other, and I hopefully as men in all environments that could watch people like me or be in the same kind of energy, therefore you will have an example on what to actually be submissive to or actually be a part of. So if it's kind of hard to think about that at the moment, that's just a clear result of there ain't any of that in your environment at the moment. So you can utilize a little bit of your divine masculine and filter it through your divine feminine, where just you being who you is and how you think. Any man, this would make men get up out in the world and do things, and even other women based upon competitive energy. You plan out the energy and the aura that you are is going to inspire someone to raise their level up if they want to attain or just have some type of divine feminine energy in general. If it's just a form of connection, a conversation, doesn't have to go any further than that. But that's how you could kind of start to participate in your environment to start to change your reality around you. But then even connected on the internet kind of speeds up the process too. But first has to be a man that's actually in a position to actually create that energy that look like it's worth supporting and being submissive to. And a lot of times females have a hard time thinking what to be submissive or what to do because ain't no men around at the moment. That's an example. So now we have to start putting in work as men, being an example, and as women, showing men how to go be an example by how y'all value yourselves. And y'all being examples that y'all not slouches and just opening yourself up, giving all y'all loving mentally or physically to some dope.
Right. Thank you for that. Yeah, and I wanted to just like reach out because like once I do the star, it's like where to go from there. That too, just like working my own magic and yeah, I feel like a lot of the divine feminine is lost in the community. And so I'm wanting to restructure that and allow some of, my submissiveness to be allowed to teach that or to flow through with that. With like a flight attendant style mechanism to it.
Yeah, sound good.
Yeah. Thank you for taking up the time.
Yeah, really shit. Yeah, shout out to Aaliyah Javon and this thing. Real shit. Hold on, y'all, because that coffee out. I gotta get some to drink real quick. I ain't trying to get goddamn cotton mouth. Motherfucker. All right. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. But yeah, the divine feminine and the divine masculine is at a conundrum right now. Everybody don't know how to make sense of things, and everybody kind of flunked out because we ain't got no goddamn examples except Walt Disney in television shows. What's going down? What you know about the divine masculine?
Oh shit! I mean, a provider, someone who provides safety, shelter, security. Which goes back to
what you got for us? Or you just wanted to show us your new haircut? What you got for us?
No, I actually got lights, man. I'm manifesting. Shouts out to Soul Group. Um, what is the future of our monetary system, man?
Monetary? What you mean monetary system?
Like, what's the best way to invest money long term? Based off how things are collapsing right now, banks.
Whatever new way they create.
Who do you mean by they?
The people who created the money. That's what you're trying to get. You're trying to invest money, but that all of that is their system. So they got to create a new system for you to invest it into something. Unless you just think you're getting ready to take all their money out the bank and stuff like that. But at some point, all they're gonna do is change that money if it worth anything or not. So we just gotta wait till they make a new money, or wait till they make a new way to save the money because it's their shit. Unless we getting ready to do some real shadow work and some real God shit and make our own money.
Right. I heard you're trying to do some sort of interview and you're looking for charismatic people with charismatic gifts.
Well, you in America?
Yes, New York.
Oh, you're in New York? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Shit. When I get to New York, then shit, I'll at you and whoever else, and then we'll run all that down. You know what I'm saying? So y'all could become interviewers if y'all got the passion. You know what I'm saying?
But I actually DM'd you. I'm very interested about that. So count me in.
All right. All right. Real shit. Shout to Yeti.
Thank you.
I'm saying, so make sure y'all do some interview work right now as we speak, getting into the objects and having the stuff forward and stuff. And I gotta see if I like the way this is going. Go ahead. What's going down? Unmute your mic. What's going on with that? I'm mentally retarded. What's going on?
Hey, Uriel. So I wanted to ask a question about. I'm on mute. Can you hear me? I want to ask a question
Yep,
about.
loud and clear.
I want to ask a question about shadow work. I want to know, like, is it okay, or is it even a thing for you to find yourself in shadow work, like most of the time? Is that okay? Because I know you're supposed to have equilibrium with everything, but you know, living in this type of world, it's hard to walk whatever line and path that you're trying to walk without being in shadow work. But at the same time, others around us aren't in shadow work, so it makes, well, me personally, I get the feeling weird just because I how shadow work is, and I don't want to go too deep. But isn't that the point too? I don't know. What you think? I don't know.
Well, I wouldn't even add it to no Christianity or religious way of thinking. I just look at it like a tool. So when you look at it like a tool from an unbiased perspective, everybody technically doing shadow work. So it ain't what we do, is how we do it. So when another person may not be necessarily doing it for God, they're inside trying to manipulate a thought and a feeling to get over on others. So that's still technically shadow work. They're just doing it for negative things. And what they present external, so it not to be in the shadow anymore, don't be what they created in the shadow. So a lot of times they shadow work be creating egos and false lights and illusions to manipulate people to think like them or do things for them. But when you do the right shadow work, in order to know who you participating with and what energy that you accessing to, is this a tool that you can use on a day-to-day basis to make sure you involve yourself in the right relationships or making the right business moves. So I wouldn't even look at it like it's something I'm disregarding or something I'm too far into or something. I will look at it like this is something we're doing anyway. So every second of the day, I'm making sure I'm doing it for God, basically.
Okay. So it's okay to be in shadow work every second of the day, because a lot of times when I'm in shadow work, most of the time it has nothing to do with anybody but me. Just like y'all was talking about earlier, how you may see a stranger, and if you know aware, you can peep game on how that's correlated to you, and I can find myself doing that a whole lot. And then when I am interacting with people, I'm doing that throughout the conversation or whatever, which is a good thing. But I know that if I'm related to someone else and I'm seeing all their shadow, And I know that's kind of the point why I'm even in a relationship or have a connection with this person or whatever, the soul ties or whatnot. But I don't know. It's just a lot of times other people can't see themselves, and it's always easy to see other people and you can't see yourself. So sometimes I'm wondering if I'm overstepping my not boundaries, because I have strong boundaries and I do want to maintain them with other people, so I don't want to overcross them. But just these thoughts in my mind a lot of times make me feel like, you know, I don't know. I'm a Gemini. Gemini is Mars
Yeah,
is a Gemini,
yeah.
so
This is basically over analyzing about it, but it ain't really too deep when we get into shadow work, because it ain't really in the context of something to necessarily do. It's something because it's kind of like we already doing it, so it's just something to be
right.
aware of. It's more in the context of being aware of it. So we're always doing shadow work, but when you are aware of it, you're able
That's
to do it, and you're able to do it in the right way. So you're not
right.
over analyzing, constantly second questioning is you making the right decision or not. You you
Mhm.
you
That's
know
what you
you know that process itself is what it means to do shadow work. So now you
right.
know not to think so much in certain situations, and then over analyze certain situations that it call for, and
Mhm.
therefore that shadow work is already you being in that area of doing shadow work in God's way, though.
Right. It's just weird when you're in the world and ain't nobody else doing shadow work at all, and you find yourself doing it, but it's like you end up being in a wilderness, so to speak, and that's what makes it feel weird to me. But I know I'm doing the right thing because life is showing me and unfolding favorably for me to let me see, yeah, you're doing what you should be doing. But it gets weird I don't know, because I don't know. Anyway, thank you though, Uriel. I'm glad
Yep.
I've been had that question.
Yeah, shout out to Jackie B Group. Real stuff. This what we need to understand too, though. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when we do overthink and analyze, that might be a concept of we might need a little bit more shadow work. You know what I'm saying? Because we gotta be careful too when we say the whole world or other individuals ain't doing shadow work, because a person might not call it shadow work, but if a person is in an okay state where they're not overthinking, then they're still doing shadow work. It's just have to be explained like that. They're doing better shadow work than the individual who may be overthinking about things. And the person who's just doing things smoothly in life, that's what it means. They're actually doing better shadow work. So we got to know what these things actually are, so we don't get flunked out and then we manifest a situation in our life that we have to do more shadow work. But it ain't necessarily something to do because we already doing it. It's more about being aware of what you already doing, so you do it in a better context. So it's more about being aware. And shadow work is just observing your thoughts and feelings. Some people observe their thoughts and feelings and try to manipulate it to get their way in the world. And some people analyze their thoughts and feelings and try to do things the better way, use themselves with a creative gift and talent. And that's technically what shadow work is: being aware of how you're coming across with yourself and others. And people be knowing how they coming across a lot of times, especially around them manipulating as an art. They know exactly what they be trying to do. So they shadow work just be negative, but it be way more on a sufficient level if we have to overanalyze what is this person doing or not. Hold on, let me see. What's going down?
Well, how are you? So
It's way up.
I have a question for you. So Pisces just entered Saturn, right?
Well,
How,
Saturn is into Pisces.
is- so how long is that is going to be? Because like I know Saturn returns or what every 30 years,
7 years.
every 7 years. So this is going to be for the next 7 years. What's going on? And so Venus is in Taurus, and she's going through all the houses, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
right. So it's like mama's home. That's the energy I'm picking up with this Taurus, and it's like she's not playing, and she got set. Like I said, the Saturn, because I was just in the house. Something was like, well, my higher self, what was in me, was like, go outside. So I go outside. I'm looking up at the sky. I'm looking at the stars, and I was prompted to ask you that about Saturn.
Yeah, that this when they do full revolutions, same way like we have a full year. So it'd take for it to go through all the signs and things of that nature a full year. So every planet water cycle got their full revolution, and we give it like a year, a number of years.
Okay, and so
Just like Jupiter gonna be in one sign for a whole year.
okay,
So
and
so that lets you know it take 12 years for Jupiter to go through the full cycle.
it's just interesting to see what's getting this, like what's actually unfolding, where people are really not paying attention to. You know, where all these laws, fake ass laws that they trying to pass, and you know, taking people to jail, holding them as prisoners of war. These shadow governments is a trip. But anyways, what's more supposed to be their United States of America Corporation. What's the name?
PS2 Xbox, PS2 Xbox 5, PlayStation.
Right. St. Patrick's Day, right? So St. Patrick's was the story is when they ran the Moors out, right?
But the Moors is like the Bole. So anytime you hear any literature about someone running a land or whatever like that, you have to look at it like this. Like now, say somebody got into real estate, or somebody joined the military, or someone try to fight for their rights to be a slave or something like that. That will be what the Moors was, basically. Someone taking the government's mathematics and system and trying to do it for their little small community, basically.
So it's all right, because it's okay. I see what infiltration that, because really the Moors, you got some good ones and you got some fake ones, and they was infiltrated. But anyways,
They all fake. They fake Masons. Like for an example, let's say me and you are some guilders, Masons, right? And we create a mathematics, right? Now let's say we run people who don't think for themselves. That's the sheep minded. Let's say you have some people who let's say we got some people who start getting with the program. Like they actually want to learn how to build. They actually want to work our jobs and things of that nature. This becomes the people that we teach to be wanderers or foreigners also. So it'd be like puppets we see in today's time, like Malcolm X or Marcus Garvey or Hennester Fua's American. They create puppets to run the small community, like how they present celebrities. Right, so that's what the Moors was. The Moors was people who accepted to learn their craft so they can teach other slaves how to be the blind, lead the blind, and fight their wars and stuff, and have a little small community like real estate.
Hell nah. I know I direct my divine feminine mother energy. I'm gonna say divine, just feminine. I'm a mother as well. You know, I know how to use my mother energy, because I don't think people really comprehend how they're attacking the natural people of the land. You know, they're trying to come for your body, your mind, and your soul. And not everybody have it, because not all skin folks are kin folks, but
that's why the first thing I go to is witchcraft, because I'm Indian. So they stole my type of knowledge, speculativism, to even make a land, but they always keep a park. Because that come from a starting point. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because they got to keep that. When I say that's anyone who has any intentions of stealing someone else's intellectual property. Because if it's not there, I always have to have a starting point.
Right. Parks come from the indigenous people creating witchcraft to make sure they don't touch that part of the land. So you have to make a deal with us. And if you can't go with the deal, you might get killed without even our hands being used in some way, shape, or form. So you built the city next to the park, but keep the park.
Hey, we unleashing that right now, because I'll be, my grandmother, my grandfather is one Hansunuku. So big chiefs, and I still have always had connection with them. So it's like I'm not gonna say it's like what it is. What our show is now, the physical is now taking a back seat, and the spiritual is now here on the front line where it's always been. this is how I'm witnessing. It's not what I'm seeing, is what I'm witnessing just right now. So, you know, I see, I mean, a lot of females, you call, I see them calling in trying to ask you questions, like, you know, because they trying to look for a way in. No, they didn't have their fun. They didn't did their dirt. You know, a lot of men, good men, are damaged out here because it's been these old wretched ass, nasty ass females playing the game, causing injury. And so the divine masculine can be the way that that you is now, like the lone ranger, the lone wolf. It's nothing wrong with being like that when it's divinely called for you to do, but it's not a state of being that's where you're supposed to be like that in life. And the divine feminine, because, and the I'm gonna say divine mother, really. Feminine is when you're in training. You're in training to do something. To just be in the house doing it the old way, you know what I mean? Because you can't really go out because she doesn't have protection, and you got wolves in sheep's clothing who look for women like that, who are spiritually strong, but they're outweighed by numbers because of so many.
Society engineer, social engineer.
Yeah, so that's got to come down. So I'm definitely tearing that down. I'm not letting that be on any planetary alignment, whatever you want to call it. I'm not allowing that to be. I'm not allowing that to stay.
Yeah, I feel that.
You know what I'm saying? Because when I look at what I create and my nation that's in my womb and my nieces and my nephew, when I look around, I'm like, ain't no way possible I'm gonna turn a blind eye to when you seeing transgenders and shit, who actually boys and want to be girls and they fucking up, man.
Yeah, PS2, Xbox 5, PlayStation, Dreamcast.
I'm saying, like hell yeah, and there's something wrong with that. It's something wrong with that. You don't hear people. I don't hear anyone standing up talking about, like, they'll do it for like clickbait to have a, you know, just draw some people in, but not really get into that content. Like,
it'll get shut down.
Man, fuck them. I'm shutting down their fucking whole platform, man. Fuck Google. Fuck AOL.
Oh, wait a minute. We on Uriel channel right now. Wait a minute. We love Google on this channel. Saying we want to tell everybody in America to vote on this channel. Saying I see you on the open panel on Dolo the Pilot Man channel tomorrow. We could go in on that channel. On this channel, we love Trump. On this channel, like I was saying, we want to make sure everybody go to the hospital, make sure everybody vote, support America platforms. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. We the people. We the real Israelites. I'm saying, until we on the live stream over panel or Dolo the Pilot Man channel. That real stuff. But shout her out. Shout out our Venus. Real stuff. But we want to make sure. I want to make sure I see that green light next to the world button at the end of the live stream. I'm saying, at that point, I'll be the only person after the live stream to be able to see that. I gotta make sure I care about that more than anybody else. I'm saying, shout out to our Venus. Real stuff. It was going down.
Oh, hey, what's up, Dolo? All right. So, yeah. I just want to say something about the archangels, right? So, like, I started working or whatnot. I'm doing like, I'm like knocking on doors or whatnot, just going around, right? And then, yeah, I was sitting here thinking about like couple things that you was talking about, like about breathing techniques and like freaking how some of them represent like certain archangels, and then like I was doing some of them, and then just out of nowhere I saw a statue of freaking Archangel Michael or whatnot. Yeah, I thought that was hecka dope. I thought that was cool right there, freaking.
You see that in your mind?
Huh?
You see the statue in your mind or statue in real life?
No, in real life. Yeah, in real life. Oh. Like I seen on somebody's door, like by somebody's doorstep. I was like, oh, that's dope.
Message. So that way you know you're on the right path. on the angel numbers and shit.
Okay, okay, all right, for sure. Yeah, all right, that's dope. Masculine. So the divine masculine and feminine. Can I just like make sense of that, like real quick, like see
Go ahead,
if I
shoot.
know what we're talking about, like the divine masculine, or what I at least think the masculine energy is like you gotta make sure you like you think in your own way, you think in your own like in your way. You gotta make sure you think but on your own, and you can do shit by yourself. And then feminine is like you being able to support or represent whatever it is that you're a part of, or whatever you're doing. Like you being able to be that or look like that or whatnot.
Yeah, up in the back seat. Shout out to Ghost from the West. Real shit. Real shit. We're going down. Shay Nate Star Flowers going down.
Flyer, what's up, flight boss? I'm in the
Going
back
down.
seat right now, chilling up in the back seat. I don't know if you can hear me all right. Is it choppy?
Oh, loud and clear.
All right, cool. What's up? I'm not gonna take too long. I'm just gonna break it down. As thought I would just hop in real quick and basically try to add on to the what it takes to be a true divine masculine and pour into a true divine feminine, like you've been breaking down. And I'm infinitely grateful to be on here on this live stream again, always, for sure, you know. And yeah, so it's hard out here for a pimp. I know. But yeah, I've seen what you've been doing, and it is, the witchcraft out here is crazy, but no excuses. Like, but what you're doing, breaking down everything, like, infinitely respected. And this world ain't shit. It's demonic as fuck. And the way relationships work out in this demonic world is just so fucked up. And like, it could be so much better. And what you're describing and a lot of what you bring up, that shit sounds like it would be better. It sounds like a lot. I've seen a lot of relationships and a lot of good good partnerships, and a lot of the 90s when I was growing up. I'm a 90s kid, fellow 90s gang. And by the way, the shadow government needs to leave the 90s alone. They just need to leave the 90s alone.
Oh, shit.
Word up. Yeah,
shit.
Quit making.
Yeah, shout out to Shay Nate Star Flyer. Real shit. Just leave the 90s alone. That's it. Yeah, just leave the 90s alone. That's all they need to do. For real shit. I'm tired of they remixes and shit. That's some bullshit. Real shit. Real shit. Yeah, we gotta know how to go through these circumstances, because Donald Trump said came to the light out the shadows on this channel. You know what I'm saying? Donald Trump seen the light. I'm thinking about voting for Biden or Trump. You know what I'm saying? The light of government. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. I'm saying the light of government. I love the light of government. I don't know about the shadows on Uriel channel. Incense, deodorant stick, candle, Hebrew Israelite, foreign body lotion, deodorant stick. Oh, Sarah, shit! I was putting it together, so I put it in the context to light it like an incense. In order for that, in order for that, in order for that, in order for that. It's going down.
Hey, what's up, Dolo? Thanks for bringing me up. I had a question about the houses and like how it relates to our natal and then like transit. So, well, my question is, are like I've heard you say like we're all the signs. So like, would the signs like are we just in like an area, and then like based on where the planets are and how they interact with each other and like where we exist physically, like does that like how does that correlate with the houses? I feel like I don't fully understand how the houses work and how like
Houses are just allegories to each position we see the sun in. So you see the spaces that the sun go through. That's what houses are. That's basically what houses are. So we know the sun don't like to be in every house. We know when the sun is in the opposite house from 6 a.m. or springtime in the morning, we know it don't like to be in that house as the allegory that we made as humans. Because anytime it's in that house, it's evening, the sun going down, or we experience in fall time. So we
so like
come up with things. So we come up with things like the sun descends in the seventh house. Because basically in fall time, the sun descends. So we make a mathematic allegory to it and call it astronomy and astrology.
so like when you say like the earth or the planet whatever is like a wave, it's like so how like how are we like how does the houses like correlate with our natal chart? Like how does that work?
Because it tells us what period of the year we at, what period in time of the year we at. So we know we in the first house if the sun is going through Aries. We know we in the second house if the sun is going through Taurus. We know we in the third house if the sun is going through Gemini. So when it start to spring off and we make other allegories based upon the house transition, it's just letting us know what space we are in to observe wherever the sun is at. So we have our own house. We have our own space that we are in to use these actions, our sun sign and reactions, our moon sign, and all the other desires we got, our seven snakes
Okay.
heads.
So those aren't things. So like when you say like they just threw up like satellites and shit, like so those are almost like metaphysical influences, or not even that metaphysical, but just like we just can't see them.
It's them trying to control us. No, them twinkly little stars you see beyond the sun and the moon is not beyond the sun and the moon. Those are the satellites. Once they already got us believing in their anthropomorphized versions of filling the blanks of the houses, then they actually throw objects up there and play God. Now they actually can create GPSs, planets of where the actual planet is at, which is the satellite in that atmosphere, and it floating in that cycle. So when it do a revolution, we mathematically calculate a time down here with that satellite, and it let us know Venus time. But it's really that satellite in that atmosphere that I like to call the actual star. And then for the most part, that's what we be seeing as a twinkly little star. It's just humans trying to calculate water cycles because we didn't reach the knowledge beyond figuring out our 24-hour one. So we start creating scientific methods to figure out other water cycles we're in. And we reached 7 of them. And that's what made us come to the conclusion we got 7 suns: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, where that light being emitted in different positions. And we see the point of it coming as a return. And we see the point of it being more distant, because there will be no other reason that it's cold during the year and it get more warm during the year.
So like what's the so are those lights just like almost like interactions of like whatever they threw up there and the actual like I don't know, like waves of energy? Like I don't I how like what are we seeing when we see those lights? Is it literally just a satellite?
There's just a satellite. So
Okay.
you can't believe in things that you see. You have to know energy is unobservable. Can't observe energy. So water is consciousness.
Hmm.
That's the energy. They're trying to track it and have it for sale. AKA they call it exoteric knowledge. They
I
call
see.
it needing the middleman to know about your internal world of how we created this world, which is the chakras. So a satellite is just throwing a object to track consciousness, to track the time of that water cycle. And then we create virtues and principles, astrology, right brain, religion, spirituality, and mathematics, operative, left brain, astronomy, and shit. But it's as above, so below, as within, so without. So
So
this that's
they
the
just do
energy is real. How they're teaching you about the energy is false.
right. So just damn near to keep us from actually knowing what's going on. Like what's the point? Like I don't understand.
Well, the only reason you probably asked that question because you might think somebody's doing something to manipulate you to block you from a truth. No, the problem is just humans don't know how to think.
Right. Okay.
Ain't no. So when they see a group of humans who just don't know how to think, what else to do with y'all but create a liquor store next to a church or put a jail somewhere or give y'all some faulty reasoning with the educational system because y'all don't think for yourselves to make one.
Man,
That's the point.
it's messed up because I feel like damn near like alone. Like in a lot of ways, like I don't get discouraged by that, but it's
Say
also
like say YouTube. Yeah, go ahead. A Sage YouTube Sage.
it's almost like it damn near seems like what can we do at this point besides just like keep like lead by example and just do
Use our
elementary stuff.
mind. We got to stop trying to use what they gave us to think is going to work. We got to just start using our mind. You know what I'm saying? If you want to become a rapper or a singer, create an industry to become a rapper or a singer like Uriel. You want to become a mathematician, start learning new ways to come to conclusions so people watch your channel about math. And then when you create a good community and things of that nature, that's us putting in the work right there. But as long as we stay foggy because we still need their circumstances, it's allowing our minds to be docile and to be wasted on thinking about things that don't matter in reality because they put us in all these weird peer pressures and indoctrinations. But the moment that we start to look at what we indoctrinated by, all we got to do is transmute that and create our own version of it. And then therefore we got something for the world to pay attention to. And that's us changing the world right there.
Yeah, I noticed that too because like I know I realized like this working shit is a trap. Like going to get a job and working 9 to 5, that shit is a trap. And like I'm also
Check it out.
understanding that.
Check
Go
this
ahead.
out. I did it just like the Masons in the world, the Jews and the Jesuits. Instead of me trying to waste time to impress people based upon the weird peer pressures, I acted myself because I know my creative gifts and talents, regardless of how bad it may appear to be, that I need to pay more attention to this with faith, belief, and imagination. Me being a powerful spirit, that's already me having the ability to gravitate attention. Whatever I'm gravitating it towards, that's what I choose to do. So me using YouTube is like part of the world. I made the world look like me. So I made YouTube come up with an idea to have people make money off of it because people like me is willing to express their gifts and talents regardless of wasting their time to do other things and peer pressures in the world to make them not do that. So when people who think that they're creative and gifted and talented, they're not in that mind frame of caring about how people think. So these are the people that do things on things that even the shadow government create to make other people be like, damn, I want to do that too. And then when the shadow government look at that, they look at that gold mine and try to capitalize off of it, aka give this person a crumb to draw other people in as a blind leading the blind. But to us, we're getting what we want. So instead of me wasting my time to get a job, I made the world look like me based upon participating my gifts and talents and bringing an audience to make them have to capitalize it. So that's basically what the Jews and the Masons and the Jesuits did
Right,
and
there's
things
like
of that nature.
spiritual warfare, right? That's like what
They
we're
learned,
considering.
right. A Mason learned how to craft and build, so their expertise was needed from people who didn't know how to do that. So they made the world make them come up with a way to pay them, whether it's with gold or how it is today, money. So it's
Yeah.
about our mind first.
Yeah, man. Man. Okay. I see like man, yeah, I still have work to do. I'm, I'm I don't want to use my age as an excuse or nothing like that, but yeah. I see like I see what you're saying. And
Real
so yeah,
shit. Yeah.
I
Shout out to
appreciate
Dante
that.
Love. Real shit. Shout out to Dante Love. Real shit. Yeah. Always use me as a living example. Don't just have something that God using right in front of y'all so y'all to look past that and get back into y'all insecurities and think it's that much more. No, Uriel is here to make you see. It's simple. Ain't nobody taking y'all power. It's you not using it. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. You gotta use your motherfucking power and this motherfucker shit. So you make the world look like you by you expressing your character and not be scared. And if it's powerful enough, God will give you confirmation because you will start getting attention in areas that don't look familiar, that the shadow government have already made other people successful and put on Walt Disney for us to feel like to make it out the hood, we got to do that. You know what I'm saying? But when you start to create the world and you're getting attention, that is the esoteric currency. The shadow government, like, what is that gold? And they take that emerald tablet and philosopher's stone and try to capitalize off of it. It's up for you to be smart enough to do what Jim Jones said. It ain't what you think you deserve, it's what you can negotiate. Because now you're going through spiritual warfare and a motherfucker will use you real quick. Or it will be no such thing as us seeing that representation in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension. People that's celebrities, but we always hear them complaining about their contract, their energy getting used and taken advantage of. This is what I'm talking about. See what I'm saying? So you make the world look like you, then the fight is on. When you scared to make the world look like you, you're fighting and lost in the world, and you might not never reach a fulfillment. Relationship, physical object, position, job, you will never reach a fulfillment, even if it looked like something you've been working your whole life to get. As soon as you get it, you still be unfulfilled because you didn't do it God's way. And the spirit is naked, so the cup is always half full. So any fulfillment, you have to be doing something God's way. When something half full and get ready to become naked, you unfulfilled because you did it the devil way. And the devil wants you to care more about the glass than what's going in it. So the devil will make you think a cup that's half full is full and make you justify and be satisfied like it's a bread loaf and it's really just a crumb. Make you think you a king or queen, but you just in somebody's neighborhood. You ain't the pharaoh. So at some point, the Pope. That's the remix of the Pope. You know what I'm saying? You ain't the God, you ain't the king or the Lord at that time. You ain't the magistry at that time. You ain't the what else was the names of it? The magistry and the angels that we call the politicians now. There's all different names for that. So you need to know that small witchcraft only play out as crumbs. We see it as you only practicing that on your mother, on your father, or a person who look just like you. But you can't practice it on a Pope to make the Pope get up out their seat to make them think you seen something in that book nobody else seen. And the only way you're gonna be able to make the Pope get up out their seat, you may not physically see it because they're in their ego, but you can express energies like Uriel in such a manner that whatever you're saying might be so negative, they don't want to be casted in that light. But if you spark your own light where you're developing your own audience without their platform, then they need the people. That's the energy. So they're going to express themselves as to be better people, just to not have the people that's getting attracted by the individual like me to think that way about them. So I make them a better individual, whether I'm right or wrong. And just by us having a starting point to think about them that in that way shows me and God that they need a little shadow work. Shows me and God that somewhere down the line they is wrong. You know what I'm saying? They is fake. Everything is reversed. Not Israel is fake. Esoteric light candle sage stick. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. I don't know what this all about. You can't be no troll. Unmute your mic. You gotta stop buying your phones from crackheads. You know what I'm saying? For real, you gotta really stop buying your phone from crackheads and stuff like that just be trying to make it come up real quick because they ain't got no credit card, no debit card, and Cash App yet. So they count on you because you still be accepting them to shovel your snow or cut your grass, and you willing to go to the ATM and get some money and stuff. So you keep money in your pocket because you lost what the news is talking about right now. So you didn't took all your money out the bank and shit like that. And withdraw the ATM, you can't go get no more money, and your credit card counters is calling you and shit. The handlers is calling you and like, hold on, did you make this purchase? And you gotta tell them, yeah, I'm trying to help this crackhead on the block and stuff. And you didn't bought this phone because you thought this crackhead and then came up real quick and found a good phone, and you thought that you ain't got to go out and about and get you a phone. You thought that one was good because you ain't get on YouTube and do no good research if you was getting a good flagship or not. And you chose and decided to get on Uriel's live stream like it was going to actually work. Sissy, so you need physical and shadow work. You need all the works done. Don't just stop with the practice works with faiths. Faith with works. Y'all said faith, have good mentality and stuff like that. Y'all said to have good discernment and practice that with works. Stop buying phones from crackheads and stuff like that you allow to shovel your snow. Real shit. What's going down?
Hey,
I see you earlier. It was going down.
Question about, you know how there's like a saying about girls will be like, I'll be the girl in red. And so is that like an analogy to them saying they'll be in their masculine energy or something? Or what is your opinion on that?
Or they devilish energy, or they Jezebel energy, or just feeling frisky. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't what they do, it's how they do it. So sometimes they even choose to wear red dress and red bottoms.
So what would the blue dress be? Just the opposite of that?
Well, it'd be the same because the flame on the lighter, first is blue, then is red at the top. So before something get hot, that's a person being mischievous. They might be being a food card, but really being what's the other one? Not the one that come right after the food card, the wizard, the magician. Yeah, the magician. So they might be playing a fool, but it's really the magician to rock you to sleep. So it's really the same difference. It's just, it ain't how you do it. It's just if you coming in light magic blue or you coming in dark magic red.
And so I also wanted your opinion because you were saying how basically a feminine needs to kind of like put her feeling down and be more like not necessarily materialistic, but just like go after the things she does instead of like feeling about it and stuff like that. And just
that's masculine.
Oh well. So a female should just be okay with just receiving and stuff like that. So
right. So when you receive, you know what you're looking for. So when it's time for you to add a little bit of a masculine energy, you know how to participate that masculine energy to show someone you're willing to be open to what they're presenting. So they don't build no weird frustration between the connection and things of that nature. So it's about being vulnerable, receiving, just knowing who or what object to receive. And that's sometimes we have to be alone a little bit to know what we're looking for, to know what to open up and receive for, so we don't make a mistake if you're in the filter system of the divine feminine, which is a female and a woman. So in your context, sitting back, waiting, having that patience to receive, and every time receiving is not always filtered through a person like a man. Sometimes you can receive a message, an idea, sitting back, not participate with something so you can receive how the situation is playing out. Then you can make the right observation before participating with each object that's in the event, as far as the person, place, or thing. And therefore, you're able to use the divine masculine to know, like, okay, this is what I'm willing to use my divine feminine for, which is being submissive and open to this. But a lot of times we can make mistakes not knowing what we're looking for and be open to the wrong person. Then boom, that's a mistake that passed that we call X or some shit like that.
So what's the difference between being in your divine feminine and just being like a whole human being? Because I feel like personally nobody should just like feel like somebody's going to come and save them or somebody's going to have the answer to their problems, or like some females feel like they need a daddy, and I feel like that's kind of the problem with society nowadays, because men only feel like they're only used to how big their dick is and how much money they have in their pocket. As a woman, you should be complete in yourself, and just naturally being a female on earth, you're gonna be more into your feelings, into your thoughts and stuff like that. But if you don't want to just wait on a Superman, you're gonna have to like dive into your masculinity. But I found that me personally, I did it too much, and so now I'm like, oh, I don't need help from nobody, and it's like, but I'm willing to help other people. So then it's like, how do you find the balance between just being a whole human being and just being in your
Well, that's basically what it's for. So, like, when we're trying to blend in our divine masculine, divine feminine, it's really just us doing shadow work.
Mm,
So, the divine masculine and feminine doesn't always be filtered through a person, but it can be filtered through a person. But really, when we access it as it being shadow work, we dealing with our own divine masculine and feminine first. So, when you're the
right.
female, you're more on the side of 60% of the divine feminine. So, that's just being open to receive the right ideas. So when you do use your
Mm,
divine masculine, you're able to manifest that in your life. And the divine masculine beyond a person is just like objects, money, support, shelter over your head, and things of that nature. But when you're open to receive the divine feminine, aka be open to the right knowledge, not listening to the wrong men and women, or taking the wrong college careers or just the wrong jobs and stuff, you're open to receive the right knowledge to be like, all right, yeah, I'm going to exude my divine masculine in
mm,
that direction via person, place, or thing. And then therefore that's you manifesting that in your life when it don't even got anything to do with a person.
mhm,
But you're still using that shadow work energy, divine masculine, divine feminine. But here's the kicker.
mhm,
God don't just stop with objects. Eventually, when we doing that, it do manifest as a person. Like eventually it does. God sit there and be like, okay,
mhm.
you're in the space right now to manifest someone who's in that space with you on that trauma level. And therefore
Right.
that trauma bonding won't be a negative one. It'll be a positive one where y'all help each other with each other's insecurities. Because
Mhm,
we all got insecurities. That's what we all need to understand. So
mhm.
it ain't about getting a perfect relationship. It's about picking someone you rather be frustrated with than someone else that you know won't even work down the line anyway. So you gonna meet frustration. So it ain't what we do, is how we do it. Pick a
Mhm,
motherfucker that you rather be frustrated with because y'all know y'all got something more important. It's a spiritual ship other than the bullshit.
mhm. And so, what would be like the man's version? Because I feel like nowadays you got a lot of bitch ass niggas, for real, for real. Like a lot of these niggas, like you were saying, will sit on podcasts and talk about females and how females need to do this, that, and me while they're single. So you're either, like you said, you're either gay or you have a hatred towards women. Which one is it? And I feel like it's because not. Well, most people are raised in single households, but even still, it's always like just a weird thing to where females will not allow men to be in their feminine energy. And that's why when people look at you, they could be like, oh, you dress good. Oh, you care about your looks and stuff. Oh, he's gay. When you said multiple times you're into women and stuff, but like, it's just like, would you teach a man that, yes, his feelings matter. Yes, it's okay to cry. But at the end of the day, like, kind of like what you were saying for like the women, how would they go about it?
Why, man? Well, me personally, and I think how all men should do it is, it's all about being a real man in the mind. So when you show
Mm-hmm.
another man how you can express your vulnerability, but indirect it, they actually start to look at you as how they supposed to act. So once you create that man authority, you could do whatever you want, and whatever
Mm-hmm.
other man or little boy around you won't say nothing about it. And if they do
Mm-hmm.
hate it, they secretly like do it elsewhere, but they like fake the phone. This is why people like Young Thug could wear a dress, but you ain't hear nobody questioning his street cred. So that lets you know beyond us of little that we see because we don't know them, they're celebrities, but that let us know whatever we're doing for us to have the ability to manifest, there's something we're doing in real life. And whatever Young Thug was doing, he had more mental authority over the people he was around. So he could wear a dress and the real killer wouldn't say nothing because of the mental authority. You have to be a mental man first. So you could do whatever you want, just like Cameron wearing pink, just like Prince wearing pumps. But I
Mm-hmm.
bet you Prince was fucking way more bitches than people like Fresh and Fit, and shout them out. But I'm just using that as an example. You know what I'm saying? Where when you're a real man, you could do whatever you want because you got the mental man first.
Yeah.
AKA any other man that's scared to express themselves, but they know they got them natures, going to be inspired by another man who know how to do it and still be the genuine self. So they'd just be secret haters, while the man who know how to do that get all the bitches.
So that's why people kind of think Blueface is gay because he hasn't created the mental mentality of a man. Because it's just like the things that he does. Every female I talk to is like, he is a dick and a booty ass nigga. Like, what is wrong with him? And it's just like he just gives off the female mentality. But maybe it's because there's nothing about him that exudes masculine. Like you sit on the internet and talk about your girl all day. Like,
Yeah, a lot of that is due to still trying to get a check too. So a lot of things that these celebrities be presenting is them hanging on their long last 5 minutes left and stuff. So that'd be that too. You know what I'm saying? But
mhm.
yeah, at the same time, that's how that should be formulating. But yeah, as a man, you know what I'm saying? Just sometimes some like people like red pills and stuff like that. See, they might look at me and say I'm dressing like you said, like I'm gay or whatever like that. But in the meantime, when you look at the proof in the pudding, who do you see complaining about women and who don't you see complaining about women? So that shows you the proof in the pudding who got problems with women or not. You know what I'm saying? So I don't sit up here and have to complain about women every day, regardless of how I look, because I don't got the issue. So if a man got an issue with me and complaining about me, that's one of their issues. They not getting no pussy. So it's like they more concerned about how they look, how they think another man should look. You know what I'm saying? So at some point, it just leads into them just being inspired. That's all it leads to.
Okay, and this is my last question. So, I grew up Muslim, and so I don't know if I got these stories correct, but it seems to be like there's 3 Adam and Eve things, and it's like once you get to the point to where you're whole with yourself and you find another person that's whole and y'all come together, it just seems like kind of like the Tower of Babel. Finally, when people are working together, God decides to strike them down. Because before, like the Lilith thing, I heard somebody else said that Adam and Eve were created and they were perfect, and they said fuck you God, and they created their own worlds, and then God had to rewrite that, and then he made it to where Lilith, they made them equal, or I don't know how, but Lilith just left, and then they say she had a bunch of demon children and whatever, and then there was a third one to where Eve was taken out of Adam's rib. And so what is your opinion on that? And do you know about the first story? Is it like wrong, or
Yeah, it's all Adam and Eve is all allegory to everybody's masculine and feminine. So they're describing how humanity act today. For an example, don't nobody know that God is just another word for a certain time of the year. But the whole purpose of calling it that is when you do practice that as above, so below, you do be a better person. AKA, you get to create a church, a community, a country, a covenant. So when people take these and create the fantasy fairy tales after it, right, they're living out how we fail. So Adam and Eve is just an example of people being lost into the world with their thought and their feeling. They're Adam and Eve. And the way the world is living right now, this is why people experiencing death or suffering or not being able to get along because they're fighting over words and things of that nature. Now, Eve being the red, that's letting you know the as above story. That's the as of below, how we create the woodcraft of it. Adam means our thought, Eve means our feeling, and humanity being confused between the two. So everybody is like killing each other based upon that energy. Now they got that from as above, looking at the sun and the moon phases. So in Egypt, when you see like the moon, crescent moon, Nana or whatever like that got emitted from the sun, that got emitted. So the moon is a reflection. So when it reflects the moon, when we're looking at the phases of the moon, it reflects the sun that got emitted. And when we see the crescent moon, we look at that as the feminine energy or being on the side. So as above, that's our mind that bend in on itself and become our ribs. So our feminine energy is on the side of our solar plexus, and that could be our heart chakra too, our emotions. So it's an allegory to that, basically. Eve being a rib, your feelings being the side of your masculine energy, and you got many phases of it. So that's where that comes from also.
Okay. And so this is my last question, with it being not me going a blank now. Don't do that. But I think that was it. I can't remember. But anyways, I appreciate it. But wait, yeah, I'm out. Thank you.
Got him right. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, that's the Adam and Eve story. You know what I'm saying? How Eve rocked Adam to sleep. So that's basically an allegory to how y'all emotions get the best of y'all, and y'all be trying to justify y'all religions and justify it like it's something good. So that's Eve giving Adam the apple to bite. That's your emotions trying to make your logic justify why it's the right thing. And the fruit is just a desire. The snake on the tree is your body, and the fruit is your organs. So your mind make your organs. So your organ is always going to have something in the external world that soothes it, whether it's fucking or eating or resting. And the snake is the desire, the mind that bent in and made those fruits. And it hang on your tree, your body, right? And the organs is the fruit that got manifested from the snake. So the snake is always whispering to your organs like, ooh, we want to fuck, we want to eat. So then you have two sides to these things, your feminine and your masculine. And when you emotionally connect to something that soothes the body, this is Eve being close to the tree, listening to the snake. Now, when the snake take this fruit, this desire that soothes the organ, and tell Eve, aka your emotions, ooh, this feel good. Eve gonna try to make sense out of it. Give the fruit to Adam. Then when Adam start to justify, like, ooh, that crack rock is good, boom. Now you're trying to justify something that's bad, that soothe the body to be something good, like you know what's going on. And that's how humanity failed, from the spiritual world all the way to being in that mind that made a brain, and for you to actually experience that death at a slow vibrational moving rate now. That's what the story is about. And then the as above concept of the masculine and feminine, the man or the sun was a deification of the phallus or the masculine energy, external, and the women or the nana or the feminine or the womb was a deification of externalization of the moon phases through the houses. And then for the most part, it was within the same context. When we seen a crescent moon from a new moon or from from a new moon, we start to see that that's a virgin, or that's the supporter, or that's the wife that came from the side of Adam, aka the point of reference for the first time, which is any letter in any language that start with A is always going to be, any word that start with A is going to be a point of reference for the first time. So it's always going to be a beginning, a country that's named in Africa, or the beginning of point of reference for the first time about something. So that's the alpha. Omega just means 180 degree, the opposite position. But alpha, aleph, A, al, you know what I'm saying? Al, all that shit. I think it's L, but it's al, right? It's all just talking about the sun being at the starting position and us creating allegories of what could been before that, and creating anthropomorphized concepts to convey that message to the common sheep mind and a visual. Damn, we 2 hours and 40 minutes. Oh, well, I go for 20 minutes. I go for this 3 hours. What time is this? 1:05. Yeah, so I go for 20 more minutes. This motherfucker. I didn't even know it was that long in. But yeah, so that's how that worked. When we start talking about Adam and Eve as allegories, it's not pseudo to go in the sky and see the transits to be like, oh, man made that reason. Because you will have somebody that's a scholar to say it's pseudo to say Noah's Ark is Cancer and Aries, because they're lost in astrology and research. But you got to go outside to know how your research is made for men to know what they was talking about. It makes an arch when you're making the mathematics from spring to summer. So if you want to create an astrology or an astronomy to convey the message to other people that it's going to be summer again, it's going to be spring again, then you come up with the mathematics, and the mathematics going to show you and make an arch from summer, from 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. micro. You see the horizon, and from spring to Cancer. And then it's Noah's Ark, because the sun is closer to Earth. It brings summertime, and this is what they was calling the blood, or the heavenly waters coming down or coming into hell. You've been flooded with this conscious, metaphorically esoteric book speaking. So for the most part, it comes from the point of return, springtime, and that arch, and it comes down and create a flood. This is why every civilization got a flood story, because it's an allegory as above to summertime. Now, men actually practice it anytime the sheep mind don't go up under the rulership, and they use the technology and wash y'all away with depopulation control, Xbox, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 2. So it's always a spiritual and physical context to things. Thank you so much for the donation, P. Joe Rose, the supernova. You said just want to show love, and I want to say our demons will be external in Call of Duty. Real stuff. Be exterminated in a new Terminator movie. Real stuff. So it's always an as above, men making the mathematics and the allegory and the astronomy, and an as below, the astrology, virtue, and principle, and the religion. That's why it seems like a lot of y'all religions make y'all go to war. Mars, Xbox, PlayStation 3, too. Y'all better learn how to get with the program. Y'all better learn how to think. What's wrong with y'all? Learn how to think, please. Did you switch the phone from the crackhead yet? Yeah, you got it. You probably too far away from the Wi-Fi, because the crackhead probably stole the phone next to the candy section at the hardware department store. So you forgot you was at the wrong store. You don't get no phone from the next to the cashier where the candy at a hardware department store, Home Depot. You go get a phone like places at Best Buy, Walmart, You know what I'm saying? Target, online, Amazon, Best Buy. You don't get rocked to sleep looking at the back in small letters, like if you was listening to the radio and it was saying, take this vitamin and then it make you meditate $1 million in your life. She gonna die from cancer, you got arthritis in your chin, kneecap. You gonna die from hepatitis in the future 10 years later. You don't hear all that. You just got wet off. Oh, I'm getting ready to meditate $1 million off this new melanin meteor man vitamin. And that's all you heard. So all you got you just got on the back of the boxes. You was at the hardware Lowe's Esoteric Depot store. You know what I'm saying? Next to the candy section at the cashier, and you just seen have abilities to get on YouTube and Wi-Fi, and you could go live. That's all you seen. You ain't look on the back. You need a battery, and you got to plug in the Wi-Fi, and you got to make sure you stay close to it and plug it into your laptop or something like that, no matter if you pay for a phone bill or not with a company. You ain't see all that in small letters back there. You ain't see all that. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. All the shit you're supposed to be paying attention to. You know what I'm saying? So next time, stop getting phones from crackheads. See, the phone was already open without the box and the instructions because they went to the hardware department store and next to the cashier and it stole it. Because they went back and they went there and tried to sell a whole bunch of metals and pipes they didn't stole from an abandoned house or some goddamn shit. So they was like, how about this? Real slick in their little buggy that they took in there and just stole a few phones and made sure they took it out the box so the alarm don't go off when they walk through the door. So that was the phone you got. You thought you was getting over because the phone looked like a flagship. You thought that was the iPhone. You thought that was a Galaxy. No, that was a phone I. You know what I'm saying? That was a Samsung constellation. That wasn't even a Galaxy. That wasn't even a whole Galaxy. That was a constellation. See, you read it right. It wasn't a Samsung Galaxy. It was just a constellation. It had Aries on the back. It just had Sagittarius on the back, and they had a whole Cosmo. And they had a whole Galaxy. You know what I'm saying? It just had a little camera alignment. You thought it was the right phone. The $19 version. You had the phone eye. You thought you had the iPhone. It was the phone eye. It was a phone with an eyeball on it. That ain't the iPhone. The iPhone got the hidden apple fruit, bitten apple on the back. Eve. They got an apple on the back. The iPhone got an apple on the back. You got the phone eye. It got an eyeball on the back. This ain't Bill Nye the Size Guy. I got the cheap ass iPhone called the phone eye. That ain't shit. How the logo an eyeball? That ain't made by Apple. That's a knockoff. They stole it from a Japanese hardware store. Crackhead stole it from the hardware Chinese chicken and rice store next door. I got that fight. I told ya. I got the fire. I got the fire Galaxy. I got the fire new iPhone. You take it to the whole thing, you get a good Christmas present. It's a phone eye. It ain't even got the apple on the back. It got an eyeball. Bill Nye the Science Guy logo. This ain't shit. Ruined my childhood. Oh shit! Ruined my childhood. Oh shit! I'm talking about to download real good games on Play Store. You know what I'm saying? Real good games off iClouds and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got the software. The software don't support this. Oh, what is this phone? What is this? I'm supposed to have a Galaxy logo on there, not a specific constellation. What is this? This is a Samsung Cosmo. This is a Samsung constellation, like Samsung Zodiac. Oh, this shit. This ain't the Galaxy. Oh, that real shit. I'm supposed to see the Milky Way logo on the back of my phone. I was supposed to see Capricorn, the goat logo. Oh, this ain't shit. Get this away from me. Cut my grass next year, bitch. Cut my grass next year, bitch. Real shit. You know what I'm saying? People be phoned out as hell. You don't just click no God. Whatever God you follow should get you some good Wi-Fi and good phone. You know what I'm saying? Not the phone, not the new phone not the new Samsung Zodiac. You want the Samsung Galaxy, all the zodiacs on the back. You see the swirls, you see the center of the galactic centers and stuff like that, between the tropics and Capricorns. That's when you know you got the Galaxy Samsung. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. You want to get the iPhone, not the phone 9. Got the Bill Nye, the science guy eyeball on the back. Look like somebody need Visine or something as a logo. No. You need that the Adams and Eve's apple that they bit from 2,000 years ago. They preserved the apple like fossil bones. You need that one, the new updated technology. I ain't even that. Or don't click on this live, motherfucker. God said to be with God, be next to cleanliness. I don't even want to practice that spell. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. You got that from some old dirty crackhead hands. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. I wasn't next to cleanliness. You had to like get some Windex, a few napkins. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Some little big old Ruby Tuesday napkin t-shirt cloths, color t-shirts that goddamn Chris Rock was wearing on his stand-up vent. That wasn't no stand-up comedian show. That was a stand-up vent time. He went up there and spent a whole hour and 4 minutes to vent. You don't get to make a whole, AKA try to make us think it's a funny comedy show. No, that was a whole hour and 4 minutes of venting. I'm crying inside. That's what that was. Man, pay me $1 million. I got a lot of shit to vent about. Whole lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. It ain't normal to have a household in a cabinet full of real cups. You know what I'm saying? You put this in the sink and wash it and replace it and stuff like that. Not now, but I come from that time. I got a lot of stuff to complain about. Holla at your boy. I'm saying a lot of shit to vent about. I'm saying fighting over the bowls without the hole in the bottom of it. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta play speed like we got a card deck without all the cards in it. You know how we play speed? We gotta race and get the bowl first. And if you got the bowl with the hole in it, you gotta race and speed to eat cereal real fast. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make sure you ain't gotta worry about the Frosted Flakes being soggy. You gotta make sure the milk stay in it. So it's like you gotta race to eat it real fast and it'd be perfect. So you create some weird sense in your mind that God did this to you to appreciate life, to appreciate each bite of the cereal and the perfectionist of it. So when you go over your friend's house and stuff like that, man, it'd be cereal still in a bowl of milk, soggy cereal. Then you hear them start complaining. Oh yeah, I don't like this part. It's soggy. They pour it out in the sink. Wait a minute. Where's your mother? Where's your mother? Did your mother walk past? She don't second question it. Man, I gotta leave this household. This is a demonic household. Y'all don't appreciate life. I gotta get the fuck out of this household. This ain't good morals in this household. This ain't good living conditions and structures. Man, if we get something in life, we won't keep it being around you all funked on ass. Real shit. I come from that. I come from that, bitch. I'm saying that. I got a lot to vent about. Thank God I ain't venting right now. You know, so I use God energies. So mother monkey ass firebirds up here making a $20-40 million just for an hour and 4 minutes. I'm up here for 3 hours and I ain't need no help, no script, nothing. Rocking the goddamn show. Damn, goddamn it, God's children ain't being treated right in this demonic world. I don't know how else to look at it. I don't know how else to look at it. If I was right here face to face with Chris Rock right now, I would make him cry. Don't let me be in person. Look, I'll be freestyling because it's in my mind. And that be it. Kitchen too hot. Get out. You be roasted muffins, grandpa, Balenciaga, dad hat, waistline. You know what I'm saying? All day you'll be flanked. You got to get out the kitchen. So don't even get into me making structures and shit, and I don't need no help, and I'm getting paid for it. Man, I would make somebody like Chris Rock cry. This type of shit is on them. It ain't in them. This shit in me. Like, I don't even have to just be making a joke like roasting. I will make a narrative with your life that'll make you laugh. Like, how did this person just come up with that? I didn't know that was something to laugh at. So this them coming up with something that retarded and my life that don't just seem like it's roasting as a scenario that they made up. You won't help but to laugh. You a shit. I'll make you cry, laugh, shit your drawers all in one area. You will never forget me that day. And you've been getting paid to be a comedian your whole life. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. God's children ain't being treated right down here. Thank you so much for the donation. Pedro Rosa Supernova. You say, is it wrong for waiting more than one woman? What you mean? I don't know what you mean. You wrote that wrong. Is you saying, is it wrong to be waiting for one? Well, first of all, you shouldn't be waiting. If you waiting, that's somebody who ain't resonating. That's somebody where ain't no reciprocity or reciprocation or something like that. So that's just you lost in your desires. You need a little bit more shadow work. Now, here's the thing. If you a man, don't be no bitch either. But don't be in your bitch feelings. So what do I mean by that? Motherfucker, you a man. You ain't even supposed to be caring about the many thoughts and feelings women go through to respond to you to even make you think you're rejected. Fuck what they think. You got the ability to change a woman's mind. That's what you're here for as a man. Not for you to become a bitch because you think you don't got that ability. And now you somewhere waiting for a woman that ain't giving you no reciprocity and reciprocation and things of that nature. Reciprocities and cadicities and things of that nature. Man, you need a little bit more shadow work. There's too much fishes in the sea. I'm saying real shit. So that's how I look at it. Rejection, opposition, I don't look at nothing like a rejection. So I don't experience rejection in my life. So even when other people in my life might look at things that they're lost in their vulnerabilities and make false egos to think I'm supposed to feel bad about, they might see it as a rejection or opposition. But the position I'm in totality, the proof in the pudding, I'm still in a better position than them. So I just use what they would think is a motherfucking vulnerability or something like that, and just to be in a better position anyway. So they still somewhere waiting on one woman, and I ain't gotta wait. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that. I just gotta play out the damn energies and shit. So yeah, it is kind of wrong to wait for one woman if they ain't giving you no reciprocity. Because what is you waiting for at that point? But also don't be a bitch. You might be doing something right now that they come around. You ain't supposed to have no chip on your shoulder and become a red pill, start swallowing all those matrix pills, and now you got some chip on your shoulder, so you want to prove to them something. Man, you a man. You ain't got no time to be trying to make a female feel bad because she made the wrong choice. That's retarded. You know how you get a female back? Putting her into a position that she don't see nothing else but you. That's how you get a female back. You don't get no female back being like one, being a bitch. And as a man, you need to be called a bitch. If you in a position trying to sabotage a position a female in because she found the man or without a man, a position that looked like is better as a decision than you. So your ego and pride hurt. So you're just doing things out of that. You think you're doing something for something else, but it's really you just doing things because your ego and pride hurt. If you do things more for God, you won't be in your ego. You'll be too busy with someone else. Mm-hmm. Then if it was meant to be, and it was that individual, God would make that person come back around and give you some reciprocity. Not for you to be a man and a bitch and be like, oh, no, you can't come around. You can't come. No, you were supposed to be the vessel as an example of whatever God used you as. You change something in a person. So don't stop. You're here to help humanity. To get to God, go through man, the thought. And if you a male, use more of the masculine, divine man energy. And therefore, that's what you're here to do. Not be a bitch. To use that as a confirmation that you waking up the world, even if you got that person. Thank you so much for the donation, Pedro. You said I don't care what they think. I said waiting for one more than one. I don't know what you're talking about right now. You probably that whole what you just stated probably came out of the starting point of your ego and not wanting to be seen in the way how I'm explaining it right now. It's okay, but I mean I know I'm not speaking in any kind of context for you to feel vulnerable in any type of position. But you do got to realize the way you rephrase the question to as an ego to protect your vulnerability. In that context, it don't even make sense anymore because you're asking because you're really blinding it, but you think that you're making it better. You're not. But the way you made it don't make sense now because now you're saying, does it make sense to wait for more than one woman? That don't even make sense. You're not waiting if it's more than one woman. Whenever one or the other come before the other one, first come, first serve. You ain't waiting for shit. Whoever the first one, first come, first curse, first come, first serve. You know what I'm saying? Going with the flow. And that's how you're supposed to do it in relationships too. Reciprocity. a reciprocation, whatever these words is. Y'all know I don't give a fuck about these words, but you know Uriel give you the spiritual space. You know what I'm talking about. So I can just say fuck. And you know what we're talking about right now because of the energy I'm putting behind it, the context that we're talking about. So everything is within context. The word is just pointing to what we mean. And as spirits, we put energy into objects and make it important. Right now, I'm just saying fuck. You know we're talking about right now shadow work and how to get things done. You know what I'm saying? It's just that simple. But, you know, at that point, multiple individual, you want to be in a situation where you're just going with the flow. So it just happens. When y'all into expectations, it would never happen because whatever you're expecting is never going to play out that way. And it's never going to be the time until you actually do it. So you have to understand that. A lot of times y'all be lost in perspectives at times without understanding that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I ain't know. See, me, I just help the world. So I be seeing who need help. So it don't matter if a bitch turned me down. I don't get that a lot, but I don't look at it as a turn down. So I don't have those type of questions to ask for no red pill person. What do I do at these times? Because I ain't no bitch. So if I do get turned down, I'm not waiting to be in no position for this person to need me, or I'm not waiting to be in no better position to make this person be like, look now, I don't care what you're trying to use as an ego to make it seem like you can't tell the proof in the pudding that I'm better than you. No, I'm a man. I'm saying at some point, God damn it, it's just like, I just look at it like, and just continue to be a man. I'm saying, and then let's a female sit around. Let's say I do come back to a female that rejected me, right? To me as a man, that's a female thought to sit there and think, oh, I must be special. This person thirsty. Why they don't leave me alone? But if I'm in the man's shoes, I'm a man. I don't think like a bitch. Who gives a fuck how a female think? And if I have the ability to change their mind, I'm only changing it for God. So they be damned that they do, damned that they don't. I'm still working for God, and I ain't acting like a bitch. I said that's how you're supposed to think. Now, I don't know how these better males out here think, but sometimes when I listen to Red Pill, man, it sounds like motherfuckers carrying baggage and traumas and watch The Matrix too long. The ones that these new Masons created. So they're just some new hippie and flunked out with DMTs and shrooms and pill popping. So they swallow all these colorful pills and stuff. And sometimes when you like separate the cherries, it be looking like they be having a lot of resentment. And I don't even have time to complain, even if I did experience a rejection. I got more time on how to make. I spend more time for God, making myself better for I don't experience no rejection no more. So even if I did experience rejection, I still don't have time to complain. I'm too busy manifesting myself better and not experiencing rejection no more. So my teaching, any pill, will only be how to not talk about bitches all day in a negative way. It'll be expressing energies out my mind of what I spend my time on behind closed doors, aka whatever you hear be other shit. Might be mathematics, might be science, might be astrology, and it might be waking up other bitches. And the other girls that wake up, they might look next to them of homie cheese and start looking at them like, get the fuck off your mental ass. You need to start doing something for God. Now it looked like one mind sparked one other mind, whether it was male or female, for us all to change the world. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. And hopefully he ain't no bitch. Start acting like a bitch because you ain't being submissive. Then he start calling you a bitch because you ain't being submissive. When you look around, ain't nothing to be submissive to. It just looked like what you're being forced to be submissive to is a big fart cloud full of protect my insecurities. Don't make me look bad in public. Don't hurt my mind even if I'm wrong. Nigga, you sound like a bitch. Stop preaching and reprobate spirit out the Bible what it actually talking about. Then that's when you need to be the man and wear the belt. Where you still use your divine feminine, but you just got to be the man in the mental esoteric version of it. Utilize logic. Tell him he's preaching out of his woman, and it don't means the female body. He's acting like a bitch. He's on his man period. That's it. New world. Better relationship. Now, the men who take all these colorful pills can stop expressing certain energies that sometimes they look like A bitch. I'm saying real shit. Because, like, there is a such thing in the world as being in a male body, looking like a person that's losing their hair, still being a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. There's a such thing in reality that a person could put on real good rims, make real good technology, know real good mathematics and all the general consensus and peer review records off Google and stuff and shit like that, and still be a bitch. That shit like that exists in this world. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Shit like that exists. You might never seen these foreign creatures. You probably don't be on YouTube a lot. Like once you start getting on YouTube a lot, going to the woods, the esoteric streets in the woods, you'll start seeing these foreign creatures and stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? For them to survive, because they got a lot of body, mental illnesses in that world, they be taking like pills that got colors to them. One of the most popular ones is the red one. You know what I'm saying? The third dimension, like it look like goddamn promethazine, shroom, DMT. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Real shit. Y'all peep gang. Don't get rocked to sleep down here by nobody who esoteric crackhead. I'm saying crackhead scholarship. Now, we're not even having productive conversations down here. We want to have conversations about shrooms and stuff like that, but we ain't talking about no Glad baggies, DJ Glad, PlayStation 5. We ain't talking about going to get no church bell scales. You know what I'm saying? Nothing like that. We ain't learning about no 3.5 mathematics, esoteric higher knowledge of how to practice the as above, so below. We learn some how to measure our ideas in our mind. Oh, that's a heavy one. How much that weigh? That could be impactful. Let's do that in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension. Practice that as above, so below. Man, we got an actual scale. Magical thinking, witchcraft, Masonic practices. Let's go get the scale and pray on it. Hey, how much this weigh? How much this do this? How much this attract this person desire? Run the world, run the community. Oh, I'm saying. Real good God knowledge. That's that real good God sigils and talismans. You know, real good God holy altars in your kitchen. You know, real good God, you know what I'm saying, can't enable spells. You know what I'm saying, let's create a stove and burn some cutting meat. You know what I'm saying, sacrifice an animal and burn it over the stove and let the blood smell to God so we get all this bound money and we could ball on everybody. So let's be Tauruses. You know what I'm saying? Thank God for the Canaanite God. Nimrod dance. That's that real shit. All your new next hip hop, witchcraft, Walt Disney music videos. Hype Williams coming near you. Real shit. Everybody goddamn Nimrods. Done Nimheads. That's that real shit. Total Recall Roman retards with the big chain around their neck. Somebody will say that's pseudo, saying that me saying the sun going through from Aries to Cancer is pseudo. No, it ain't. The sun actually moves and make a horizon. They actually made anthropomorphized concepts of the sun being the mind or gold. They actually was making Kabbalah saying that God is the space we in and the mind of God is the sun, the chakras. You know what I'm saying? The stars. So when they make a body out of God, right, the head is going to be in the eastern continents as below, us being the blood cells inside of it. And as above, when the sun make a horizon, the mind, the gold, as an esoteric teaching, that's a knowledge, we see the horizon go from God's neck if God's head is in the eastern continents. And then for the most part, from the sun going to the western hemisphere, for the most part, we see the horizon if a body was standing up, laying down, it going across the neck now. And therefore, this is why they created gold around your neck as a chain, or that little pillar system from Aries to Cancer that you see on the Pope or around the pharaohs. It's an allegory to from spring to summer as above, practice that as below. You could bring light to people who are in darkness. So that's how we create religion, astronomy, astrology, left brain, right brain. As above, so below. As within, so without. There is no other esoteric teaching knowledge unless you getting us into pseudo. Understand the mathematics. When I go outside and see what all humanity and animals and bugs do to create beaver dams and igloos and pyramids and statues and bee nests, right? We're doing the nature, tracking the sun and seeing how it relates to us, and it gives us structures. That's how we create bridges. That's how we create arches. The arch of the sun as above, sun through Cancer, micro, 6 a.m. in the morning to 12 p.m., noontime, horizon, high noon, right? We create the mathematics, and now we create architecture with arches. And that's what the arches represent. So when you're in that geographical location of those monuments, you feel the presence of the allegory that the Masons was trying to convey to you. So you're just looking at it, taking pictures like, look, I'm in Africa. They're looking at it like, yeah, because it's as above, so below as an ancient practice. Build it for us. Be a slave. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Why is that so hard? Now that you got the right mind, now you get into man's words because you're in the mind frame of a man before he came to these conclusions. Now you know all that, whatever that they're talking about, all the artistic shit that they're trying to convey to you for you to get lost and get Western hemisphered out and think that they're not talking about the mathematics. You think they're actually talking about gods. You think they're actually talking about this. And then you think that that's the way they thought in the ancient times and the way that they think now is about math. No, they thought about the math then, and people who got lost didn't understand the ancient practice. Y'all think it means something like real gods. No, these are different names for transits and men practicing it as below, calling themselves these names: gods, messengers, angels, politicians, the magistry. So y'all worship the people who came and made y'all mutts first. That's it. And each calendar as above when they created the rulership over that geographical location as below. Who cares when you want to pick when you like being a slave better with your generational curse ass? You know what I'm saying? Who cares? I know I don't. God told me to come down here and create something new and create a lot of mixed India babies. So all my babies gonna look like stuff that need to be on commercials. Babies that look like they not even human, like little Palladians or something like that, little galactic federations and stuff like that, like with perfect geometric structures and stuff like that. Because I know a lot of you fake men that like to pay attention too much in females and stuff like that be hating on your own eyebrows. Y'all think I arch minds. No. I can show you baby pictures, and there's not a time I'm not live, and there's not a time I'm not been online, and this is my eyebrows, period. So in the spiritual world, I'm in that arch world to create the mind and it bend in on itself, and those space as teamwork makes the dream work when we create the teeth and stuff like that. In my position, I have more percentage level there. So even my mind and my brain and the blood cells dying and becoming the forms look like arches. That's why I made my Medusas. This is my signature hairstyle. You know what I'm saying? It's mine. So I dialed my signature, Medusas, the angel noodles at Olive Garden. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's my signature. I come down here and create new things. God said come down here and create something new. God ain't say come down here and remix. God said, look at the proof in the pudding. And when I came down here again, the remix as a proof in the pudding look like things that don't work for 4,000 years. So y'all doing the same thing. It'd be another version of a liquor store next to every church. So whether it look like a double cup, whether it look like a piece of white rock, whether it look like a melted pill put into a double cup or mixed with Sprite or something like that for us to zone out to somebody's mixtape, it don't matter what it look like. These are different versions of putting y'all in the hippie world. A new remix version. So you got the new DMT Sherm heads people, right? Speaking about it the way crackheads were speaking about crack. And then y'all think y'all hating on crackheads. You the new version of it. You got people on Clubhouse who think they rappers talking about they geeked up. I knew everybody was off fentanyl. Talking about they geeked up. They rolling right now. And you like the crackheads and the OJs and them. And the Isley brothers and them. And Temptations and them. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, I ain't the drug version of it, but I'm like David Ruffin. But y'all are actually David Ruffin. You know what I'm saying? The reason why he was never around and hitting that pipe. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. You know what I'm saying? So every time we have a discussion with you, it's always in my shoes sound like you trying to entice me. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you'll never know until you take it. You don't never know until you do. Man, I seen one crackhead do that to another crackhead. The outcome is never right. So I don't gotta take it to not like something. So you convince me with your little witchcraft allegories about all you got to do is take it or whatever like that. What makes you different than a crackhead? Neither of y'all are productive. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Both of y'all are giving more importance to the high itself, other than with the high useful as productive. I'd rather do what Madame Lubisky was doing. At least they was making money and teaching people science and knowledge and stuff like that wherever they went. Y'all just get high and then it's not productive. And we got to be forced to think you're doing the right thing because you sat on the couch and seen a few lights float around in your mind. And is these some lights you can teach us in some type of college? I bet not. I bet you it can't. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. So at that point, it's like a failure. Because if I'm not taking that shit and you are, and then we need a president, ain't nobody gonna pick you. So all this knowledge you trying to convince me to take sounding like a crackhead, all you need to do is take this. When it's time for both of us to be presidents, goddamn it, you gotta learn from me on with the shit you taking. So all these lights you seen was just non-useful mentally, spiritually, and it's non-productive physically. So you trying to explain it like it was good. It's another version of you going into the matrix. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Yeah, we a little late, y'all. We like 3 hours in. We 1 o'clock. Y'all should have clicked the link. Whoever clicked the link, I ain't see who I clicked the link. But yeah, I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. You know what I'm saying? Y'all make sure y'all stay spiritually uplifted in this thing. You know what I'm saying? And we stay zooting over the world. Riding at all the esoteric currencies, the foundations, the sigils, the Aladdin magic carpets. If you're the divine masculine, you make sure you go pick up Jasmine. Jasmine don't know no better. Jasmine always lost in her lower animalistic natures. So she always want to be around her pet saber-tooth. She always want to be around her pet tiger, her pet animal. She got a family that expect things from her. They want to pick her husband for her and things of that nature. You be flying around on a floating carpet, knocking on her windowsill like a little birdie with a letter and shit. Like, look, come outside. Leave that bitch ass animal alone. The animalistic natures, all those expectations, and fly around. Let me show you the world real quick. And this is something to support. Whatever house that you in as a shelter, we can go create a whole city of that and things of that nature and be community for the people as divine masculine and feminine and show them how to be it and shit like that. But now little old Jasmine today time have been inverted and turned into a little boy, just filtered through the feminine body. So Jasmine never hop on the Aladdin carpet. So Aladdin somewhere floating around, taking red pills, high as hell, crashing into asteroids, landing on Earth and stuff. He done fell off his magic carpet on Earth somewhere. He done went to jail. You know what I'm saying? Trying to figure out how to, he didn't went and stole a magic carpet that ain't even a magic one. He didn't went to a goddamn thrift store and shit like that. Went and got a living room carpet and shit. Now he got to go and get a job, become a Masonic carpenter and make other people carpets and lay the platform down. He can never go into the sky no more. You know why? He never got the support. Because Jasmine turned into a little boy and she got satisfied with her DVD collection and little Tiger Man and that little Diado. So, you know what I'm saying? So she about to do what, her parents expect her to do, and they're going to pick her a husband she don't even like. And now we got the gender wars. And I love y'all from the bottom of my heart. And we got to get out of this Walt Disney movie. And I love y'all from the bottom of my heart. And no going for that. See y'all.